Texas. Valley Sports Southwest, the heart of the fan.
The manager of the Texas Rangers, Ted Williams.
For 5 decades, the Texas Rangers have called the American League West their home. Through the years, a cavalcade of stars has occupied the lineup card. As the Rangers once again take on the West, it's hard not to remember the momentous highs.
The AL West title flag will fly in Arlington, Texas.
And the history we've witnessed.
And a ground ball back up the middle. He's the new all-time hit king in Major League history.
As they take the field with steely resolve and shared purpose, the Texas Rangers are ready to leave their brand on the West.
Well, the Rangers are back home tonight after a quick road trip to Florida and ready to go this evening against the Angels. It's the first of 3 in the division tonight. Boy, all the stars are out, from Seager to Ohtani et al. Well, welcome inside, everybody. Great to be with you tonight. I'm Dave Raymond. Speaking of the stars, they're here. Dave Valley to my right, to my left, CJ Nitkowski. We've got the bases covered for you in this series, and these two teams, it has not gone the way they would have liked this season, but there are still individuals who are doing some pretty special things. Let's get it started talking about one of the Rangers and Nathaniel Lowe.
Nathaniel Lowe is having a great year, but as good as that year has been, his second half has been even better. He's hitting .374 since July 25th. That brings his average up to .308. That's only 9 points from leading the league. The biggest area of improvement has been against those left-handed pitching. He has a .966 OPS, and he's averaging .349 against the lefties.
Really has been a remarkable story for the Rangers, what he has done in particular in the second half. Now, I think a guy who a lot of people expected to have a big season and is once again doing so has been Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani was the MVP a year ago, and this year has been equally as interesting. Now, he's been a little bit better on the pitching side this year than he was a year ago, but he still has that really big bat. You can see his American League ranks right now. When you look at his OPS, his home runs, 34 this year. He hit 46 a year ago. Really good RBI, 6th best in the American League, but it's the pitching that is really starting to stick out. Nearly 200 strikeouts. The ERA has improved. He only had 9 wins last year, 13 so far this year. And I know how much you guys care about WAR. When he won the MVP, he had a 9. This year, 8.9.
Ooh, okay, well, we'll see. There's still plenty to figure out here in these last couple of weeks of the regular season. Those two guys, established big leaguers, having big years. One guy, he's a rookie who has made some noise here in his Major League debut. It's been Josh Young. Emily Jones will put him in the spotlight when we come back.
I think I just need someone more emotionally available. We seemed like a good match, but in person, I'm just getting a lot of mixed signals.
It's the bobblehead, isn't it?
I love your smile, but I can't do this anymore.
I thought you were a home run.
Oh gosh, Max, don't do this.
There's a better way to bring the game home. Visit MLBshop.com for your favorite team gear and today's special offer.
The penultimate homestand of the season on tap tonight here at Globe Life Field in Arlington as Rangers baseball is presented by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. It is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim in town for a 3-game series against these Texas Rangers. Both teams looking to end the season on a high note, both with higher expectations coming into this one, and at certain points of the season performed well, but now kind of in a very similar position. However, there are definitely guys on both of these teams, and this Rangers team in particular, who are still trying to prove something as 2022 comes to a close. One of those guys, Josh Young, in his rookie season and making quite the impression after 10 or so games. There you look at the 6 extra base hits, 3 of those home runs in his first 10 career games, with the Rangers tied for second most in franchise history. Really adjusting well to the major league level is Josh Young, looking to continue that trend throughout the remainder of 2022.
So far, so good. And plenty of time yet to still get more accomplished, and he's going to see a good pitcher tonight. But let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Angels first. The Angels 64 and 83. They're 32.5 back of Houston. It'll be Rengifo, Trout, and Ohtani up top. Ward, Duffy, and Ford in the middle. Joe Adell in left, Stassi catching, and Livan Soto, the shortstop, will bat 9th for the Angels.
We get the left-hander Cole Ragans going tonight for the Rangers in search of that first big league win. 6 starts so far this season, 25 1/3 innings, and he's given up 5 home runs.
All right, his first pitch, and that's a fastball right in there for a strike to Rengifo, switch hitting second baseman. So underway, roof closed tonight. A little hot and humid these days. This one fouled back. It's 0-2.
Take a quick look at the pitch arsenal for the left-hander Ragans. 4-seam fastball that sits at 92. Changeup, cutter, and curveball. You can see the batting average there of just 111 against his changeup. He's got a good one. And the key for Cole Ragans is to get ahead with that fastball, be able to spot that pitch inside, outside, up, down, and then use that changeup to finish off right-handed hitters.
Jumps ahead 0-2. And Rengifo reaches out and lifts that one out over shortstop. That's a base hit. And Rengifo is a hot bat, and he stays that way for the Angels.
In the last 13 games, he's hitting .340 with an OPS of over 1,000. Here's that changeup, able to stay back just enough to be able to reach out and hit a soft line drive out there to left center field.
Rengifo has been a nice surprise for the Angels. They haven't had a lot, but he's one of them.
Well, they've ended up playing pretty good baseball here the last month and a half or so, and have moved past the Rangers in the standings. Well, they're not lighting the world on fire, but it certainly helps to have this guy, Mike Trout, back in there every day. And he bounces one quickly to third base, to second for one, on to first, double play. Boy, what a lift he's been. Around the horn, the Rangers go 5-4 to 3, and just like that, the bases are empty.
Every kind of oddity here that tells us this shouldn't happen. It's a 4-seam fastball. It's hit on the ground. Rangers do a nice job going all the way around to turn that double play. Cole Ragans does not throw a 2-seam fastball, which is unusual for a left-handed pitcher. That's usually the pitch you use to get ground balls. Well, he only gets a 29% ground ball rate on his 4-seamer, which is very low. Mike Trout likes the low fastball, usually crushes it. And it worked out pretty well there for Cole Ragans to get that ground ball.
Only the 5th time this year that Trout has bounced into a double play. Is now Shohei Ohtani takes low for a ball. Ohtani, 268 average with 34 home runs. A breaking ball in the dirt. 2-0.
You guys are talking about double plays. CJ, leadoff hitter gets on and you roll a ground ball for a double play. What's that feeling like?
It's a momentum changer big time, especially when you're a young pitcher and you got to go through the middle of this lineup. And you mentioned it, Rengifo's having a great year. So you talk about from the very top trying to get all 3 of these guys, and you're like, man, leadoff base hit on my best pitch, a changeup. Now I got to face Mike Trout. That worked out really well for Cole Ragans.
It gives him the chance to make it a really efficient first inning as well. It's 2-1 to Ohtani, and that just misses ball 3.
You guys remember, was it his last start where he got 2 outs and then had a 2-out walk and the inning got away from him, if I'm not mistaken, with 3 runs maybe across the board? And we kind of saw a very similar situation to what we're seeing right now in this inning.
This one lined out to center field, and going into a slide for it is Taveras. He got it. Well, it wasn't clear initially, but that's a great catch, and the inning is done.
Well, Leota, we know what a great defender he can be. He's got to come ranging to his left and sliding just in time to pull that one off the carpet.
Hi, I'm CC Sabathia. If Win Reality was around when I was pitching, I would have hated it. But my son Carson's a hitter, and I don't pitch anymore. So I love Win Reality.
Dad, the camera's over here.
Be ready for real. Win Reality.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive. But here's a secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh, hi. We're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You could try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Hey, it's me, the summer breeze. I just flew back into town. Let's get outside. Much better.
Ragans only need 9 pitches to post a scoreless first. And so now the Rangers 63-83. They're 33 games behind Houston. It'll be Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Nathaniel Lowe up top. Garcia and right. Matthias will be the DH and Josh Young at third base. Bottom of the order, Heim, Taveras, and then Bubba Thompson in left field will bat 9th.
And on the mound for the Angels will be Patrick Sandoval, who's having a pretty solid year for the Angels. A 5-9 record with an ERA of just 2.99, 134 strikeouts, over 132 in the third innings. He's allowed a half a home run over each 9 innings this year.
Wish I could figure out a way to let up only half a home run.
Yeah, how does that work?
Is it a double?
Well, that's what a lot of people call them doubles. Potato, potato. That's low. 2 balls and no strikes to Marcus Semien. 23 homers, 75 RBIs for Marcus.
You can make that your thing, Dave. You'd be the first play-by-play guy to call
it
doubles
double.
half a homers.
Half a homer. That ball sharply foul for a strike. 2-1 to Marcus.
Sandoval starts off with a slider, change, a 4-seam fastball, 2-seam fastball, and a curveball, but he's pretty much slider, change, and that 4-seamer. Over his last 8 starts, he's allowed 2 runs or fewer with an ERA of just 1.86.
Another one foul. Evens count at 2-2. Yesterday was a day off for the Rangers. On Sunday, Semien wrapped up that series in Tampa by going 1 for 4. He had 5 hits in that series in Tampa and is working on a 7-game hitting streak at the moment. Takes in the dirt. That's a full count. In fact, last 6 games for Semien now. 12 hits and 26 at bats, nearly a .500 average during that stretch, with a couple of homers, 4 doubles, half homers. 3-2 pitch. It's low. Ball 4. He'll take the walk. It's a good start.
Corey Seager stepping up. Let's take it back to last Sunday in Tampa. Left on left against the former Ranger Jeffrey Springs, and an absolute no-doubter for Seager. Home run number 31 on the season as he continues to add to that career high.
Well, he's got a man on in front of him. Semien with a relatively small lead in the first pitch. Another slider that misses ball one. So there you go. Most home runs by a left-handed hitting shortstop in a single season in Major League history, the 31 so far. He passed Brad Miller. Currently on the injured list. Miller hit 30 home runs several years ago as a primary shortstop. That was the record. And something tells me that Seager's not done yet.
Well, this will be a good test for him too, because Patrick Sandoval has not given up a home run to a left-handed hitter all year. And their OPS, left-handers against Sandoval, just .389.
Yes, but he's allowed half a home run. That's probably the story.
I was just trying to set you up for that.
Line down the left field line, and that one will be extra bases. Semien got a good jump. He's coming around third. Here comes a relay throw, and it is offline.
Wow.
And the Rangers get that first run of the night. A double by Seager, and it's 1-0 Rangers.
Take a look here at the fastball. Looks like a two-seamer trying to go backdoor. It's a strike catching the outer third of the zone, and Seager does an excellent job of taking this the other way and into the corner. And it looked like they were going to have a chance to cut the runoff, but check out Joe Adell as he boots this one, likely to be an error added onto him. And then this throw on the back end by Soto was not good. A couple of bounces and just way offline, and so the defense showing up in a pretty negative way for the Angels on that play. We've seen Joe Adell not play great defense, and especially against the Rangers, it seems like it stuck out. Remember that ball that Nick Solak hit last year went off the glove of Joe Adell in right field and over the wall.
It's not like he was right at the fence when it happened either. He was still a stride short of the fence. He just kind of pushed it up over the wall.
Kind of like the Canseco home run off the head.
Yeah.
Kind of like it.
I mean, I would say it was worse in a way, and I don't mean to bury the young man. He's still a very young and talented player, but it was one of the more unusual errors you'll ever see. Seager off second. And a 1-0 pitch low, takes a strike.
So what do you think? No error there, huh? On Adell on that play? What do you think?
I think it should have been an error, because I don't think Marcus would have scored had he caught it cleanly and got it to the cutoff man.
Agreed. Unless Soto had such a terrible throw, like, oh, he wasn't going to throw anybody out.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, even for that, Soto, he had no chance. Why even throw the ball to home? He had no chance at all to get Semien. It's a wasted throw. Just another chance to make a second error on that play.
Yeah, I kind of wondered the same thing, and then it now makes me wonder, in retrospect, if that might be what was responsible for the weird throw. Like, as if he got halfway through it and thought, what am I doing? And tried to stop, or I don't know, squeeze a little harder or something. Because you're right, it was just ill advised. There's a swing and a miss by Lowe, and he strikes out for the first out of the inning. We'll bring up Adolis Garcia. So how about our stats with Lowe's tonight as Garcia steps in? 182 RBIs since the start of last season. Over a 2-year span, Adrian Beltre in 2015 and 16 drove in 187. This is the most since then, and I think Garcia is going to pass that 187 by the time we're done. He's got a chance to get to 200.
Certainly a guy that seems built for the moments. We got used to it now, right? I mean, it's almost expected. Last year we were like, oh wow, check out this guy, new to the Rangers and just driving in big runs and home runs late, driving the ball to the opposite field, all the things that we got to see. And now it's just something that we have grown accustomed to, and the anticipation is that Garcia is that guy, because he's shown us once again
that he has the knack to drive in those runs with 92 RBIs this year.
Sandoval checks second, the 2-0 pitch, and that's outside. Ball 3. He's really struggling to throw strikes. In fact, more balls than strikes this inning for Sandoval. It's causing him some trouble. A walk, a double. The Rangers had that early lead. .3-0 to Adolis. He was right after the fastball. Yeah, I think to your point, CJ, last year was such a delight with Garcia. The 31 home runs, the 90 RBIs, and you had to, I mean, anybody would have to ask last year, like, what was that real? Could he, you know, consecutive seasons, could he do it again? Takes a pitch just a bit north of the strike zone, and that's the second walk in the inning. That one did not miss by much either.
Yeah, CJ uses the word knack. He has a knack for driving in runs. I think I totally agree there. Not everybody has the knack. Not everybody has the ability to drive in a run when runners are in scoring position. To me, it's an absolute skill because they're hard to come by. I mean, you don't see a lot of guys driving in 100 runs anymore. So the fact that he's at, what, 92 right now, he has proven that he knows how to have the right approach to drive in runs.
And I'll say this too, I think a year ago early on, that's probably a pitch he swings at.
Yes.
Because the runner's in scoring position. It's at the top of the zone. It was a borderline strike. We've seen a little bit more patience as he gets even more and more comfortable in those spots with an opportunity to drive in a run.
So now 2 men out there for Mark Mathias. Mathias, the DH today, batting 5th. And he takes a little bit in here. Ball 1. Mathias has been an interesting one to watch. Now, he did go hitless in Tampa. And oddly, he has now struck out in 6 consecutive plate appearances. And he's a real patient hitter. Comes up empty there, 1-1. He's very selective. He seems to have a pretty strong idea of the strike zone. And had that great run on the last homestand where he homered in 3 straight plate appearances, and maybe he's, you know, come out of his usual patterns just a little bit here recently with a taste of all that power. Maybe that explains the strikeouts, or maybe he's taken some close pitches, which good hitters will do, and they'll strike out every now and then.
And I still remember the at-bat that he had in Miami, where he worked a walk and Corey Seager came in and he ended up being the winning run.
Yeah, he had 2 huge walks in that game, and it really kind of meant that game for the Rangers. I think that's the other kind of big important part of his game. To wit, he has a .338 on base percentage this year, well above league average. Well, he's in a battle now with Sandoval, 2-2. Here he comes, and he strikes out swinging. Second out of the inning, both outs, strikeouts. We'll bring up Josh Young.
Josh Young going back to last Sunday against Tampa Bay. He hits a little moonshot right here. This ball just continues to carry. We saw that with his very first home run as well. Gets a lot of backspin with that slight uppercut swing. Clearly he has a lot of power in that bat.
Boy, he gets a good breaking ball there from Sandoval and swings over the top of it. 0-1. 3 hits in that series in Tampa, including that home run. Drove in a couple. Sandoval's 1-strike offering, and that one is in there.
So Val, enlighten me here a little bit. Josh Young steps in when everyone's prepared with the data. They got the lefty coming up, and he throws that curveball 10% of the time to right-handed hitters. But he gets one on the first pitch, and a pretty nasty one.
Is that, you think he's in a see ball, hit ball mode as opposed to like, if I see that ball spinning, I'm not going after it early?
He's in a see ball swing at it. There's no doubt. Since he's gotten here, he's incredibly aggressive, which I like. I'd rather see a guy come up and be over aggressive, and then you can kind of tame it back. But he clearly goes up to the plate looking to attack the baseball.
That was pretty nasty.
Well, you know, this Sandoval's got some really good pitches. Starting off with that slide, he doesn't like his fastball a lot, even though he throws that 94 miles an hour. But there's that nice tight slider for strike 3.
His third strikeout of the inning. Helped him out with the 2 walks, but the Rangers cash one in on the double by Seager. We go to the second. It's 1-0.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy.
What?
And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too.
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Take control of your health by boosting your force field, the immune system. With the Aura Ring, you can listen to your body's signals and raise your defenses. Aura tells you when your temperature is higher than normal, how to improve your sleep, or if your heart rate shows signs of stress, so you can decide to push yourself or to lie low. Live smarter, stronger, healthier with the Aura Ring. Aura.
Want to get FDA-approved generic Viagra and save hundreds of dollars? RexMD.com has made the process simple. Get from here to here without the hassle of visiting a doctor. To start, complete our free online consultation. One of our licensed physicians will determine what prescription is right for you. If prescribed, we'll deliver your medication discreetly to your door. And after that, let's just say you and your partner are in for a good time. Get started today with RexMD.com.
The Angels here in Arlington. Coel Ragans back out on the mound for Texas, and he's got a few more starts left here to finish out 2022. And Tony Beasley really saying he needs to stress the importance of strike 1, and he did that in that first inning. 2 out of the 3 batters he threw that first pitch strike. That's something he did in his debut, but he wasn't able to do it, hasn't been able to do it consistently since then. Really wants him to pound the zone, and basically gave him one message, and that was like, you've got 3 starts left. I want you to be good at your job in these last 3 starts. And these young guys know the importance of you know, these last handful of games and the impression that they can make moving into the offseason and ultimately 23.
It's a great point. I'm not sure there's a pitcher on the staff more than Coel Ragans who that first pitch strike is so important for. It doesn't mean that you're just going to split the plate and throw it down the middle. But as we were talking about with him and that changeup, and as good as it is, to be able to spot up his fastball if he wants to start with a fastball or a cutter curveball and be able to get strike 1 so he can use that changeup to his advantage. He's about 57% so far. League average is about 64, 65, so he's below league average by a few percentage points right now. But he probably needs that more than anybody. Right? There's guys that have power arms that can get away with kind of pitching behind. It's not ideal, but you can do it. And so there's been some struggles against the fastball for him. And he's got to be inner third, outer third, as we mentioned with him early on. I like his stuff. He does have changeup's good natural movement on the fastball.
But he needs to put the hitters kind of on their heels by working ahead. And I think of Martin Perez and his evolution into what we have seen him become this year. Right? He works ahead. He throws strikes.
Taylor Ward takes a 3-1 pitch and rolls it up the middle for a base hit. Angels have that lead man aboard in the second.
Here's a little four-seam fastball right here, right at the bottom of the zone. Taylor Ward, who's having a solid year for the Angels, just mashes this ball right back up through the middle.
All right, well, last inning the Angels got that lead man on, but then Ragans got a ground ball double play in the very next pitch. Let's see if Duffy accommodates here. Takes strike 1. Matt Duffy, third baseman, .250 average, a homer, and 12 RBIs. Rangers with the 1-0 lead. Scored a run there in the bottom of the first inning. Now the Rangers, when they get that first run of the game, they're now 40-25 this year. So good start tonight, opening game of this series. Duffy, a veteran journeyman. He swings through that one, strike two. He's now 31 years old. Among his numerous stops, he was in Tampa Bay. He was with the Giants in 2014. Remember that World Series winning team in San Francisco. And a 1-2 from Ragans. That is low.
Val, does it surprise you to see a lefty? And I feel like every time I see one, I keep saying I'm surprised, but it's happening more and more. Left-handed starters that aren't overpowering, that don't throw a two-seam fastball.
Very surprising.
Yeah, I've seen a decent amount of it.
You know, and I kind of go back to Martin Perez on that, because I was talking to him earlier this year and asking him, what has been the difference with you? And he's like, I'm throwing my two-seam fastball again. They try to get me to just throw across the top of the zone. The last few years changed the way he approached hitters. And he said, I just started trusting him, that two-seamer. He goes, I also added the cutter. You know, so now I got one pitch going each way. But he said that two-seamers, you know, he has the ability to dot it when he needs to.
Duffy hits his hard down into the left field corner, and that one just sneaks out. Duffy's second home run of the year, a two-run shot, and he has the Angels in front for the first time tonight. It's 2-1.
Matt Duffy gets his ball just high enough over that wall. Here's a little two-seamer. He tries to run it inside, and it comes right back out over the plate, about thigh high, and this ball just sneaks over the wall out in left field for a two-run home run.
Well, just far enough to get to wear the cowboy hat. And now Mike Ford with the bases empty, and he takes right on the outside corner. Strike one.
You think there's 176 stickers on that hat?
No, no way.
Because that's how many homers they hit this year.
I think they're a little off.
I think they may have run out.
Yeah, they're on their second or third hat.
You remember those Pirates hats back in the 70s, 80s?
The painter's caps?
Yep, they put the stars on them. Pops was the one who would hand those out. I remember those used to drive me nuts. This one popped up right behind home plate, and Anaheim makes the catch. Pillbox hats. The thing that drove me nuts about it was I always wondered, like, well, why do you get the star? And it wasn't an easy explanation on exactly why guys would have the number of stars they had.
Jonah going back, making that play look easy. Anytime that ball goes up off the bat of a hitter, that ball's always going to be spinning back towards the mound. So it's going to come back into you. So you don't want to go too far underneath it. You'll see sometimes catchers backtracking and sometimes falling over, but Jonah approached that in just the right way.
One out, and Adele takes a little in, 1-1.
So when you watch those Pirates games and you saw that kind of stuff, did you make that decision that when I become a play-by-play man in the big leagues, there will be no detail that is not explained on the broadcast?
Absolutely.
Because it would drive you crazy. Like, you want to know.
Because you'd see a big home run hitter or something, and he would have 5 stars on his hat. Well, he's got 28 home runs.
So what were the stars for?
Pops made the decision after games. So he'd be like, hey, man, that was a great play you made. Seventh inning. Okay. Or, hey, that was a great save. Give guys stars. But here's the best part of it. This one bounced down the third baseline, fair ball, and that'll be extra bases for Adele as he hustles to second base. 1-out double. And the Angels have another man in scoring position.
Joe Adele rips one right past the diving Josh Young. Now here at this ballpark, it almost plays like Fenway Park. Now take a look as this ball ricochets off of that wall. and that ball kicks out. Maybe we can get a better look on this replay here.
Well, because you never know where it's going to go.
Yeah, so the case is like at Fenway, right? Down that line, it has like a 1 foot foul line once you get past about 150 feet or so. But that ball will kick, so you'll see the shortstops run to that spot just in case that ball hits off of that slanted angle, just like here. And we've seen a couple of these so far this season. This ball's hit hard. Now watch, it has it ricochets, and it comes back. So all the infielders have to start to recognize, like, where's that ball going to ricochet to? So I start moving towards that area just in case, so I can keep it in from a single to a double to a single.
And what's so fascinating about that one that we saw, so you can see that kind of cement lip along the bottom, and that's where it hit, and it kind of caught it clean and bounced in the direction that you saw. If it bounces up and happens to catch one of those pillars, it's going to bounce one way. It could get in the net and rattle around. It's very unpredictable as far as what's going to happen. And it's a home field advantage, I guess, in the sense that you know to be heads up. Maybe your shortstop needs to be there, or your third baseman, whatever's going on. Because as you mentioned, you see it all the time in Fenway. They got that down. It's just part of, playing shortstop or playing left side of the infield in Fenway. But that is a little bit more unpredictable as far as which kind of bounce you're actually going to get.
Yeah, that netting in between there is so slack. We've seen a couple just kind of rattle in there and die right there, which catches guys equally off guard. This one in the air down the right side and slices away foul. Stays 1-2 on Stassi. Yeah, those side walls, the angles down there, they can be tricky here. And the fact that it's not a uniform barrier makes it even trickier.
Because it goes from the netting to those poles that are padded.
Yeah, and then the concrete that one caused the big kick, which is weird. 1-2. That's a little bit high. So the Pirates, though, the thing about those Stars is, remember Kent Colby, lanky, side armor.
Yep.
Looks like a praying mantis sometimes out there. It's just all limbs. He would go around and he would steal the Stars off other guys. That's 2-2, and that one misses. So Phil Garner was on those Pirates teams. And I was once asking him about those hats and the whole process and everything. So, yeah, the thing was, Teak would come around and he would take them off your hat and he'd put them on his. And like one time we're like, why does Teak have like 40 stars on his hat? The guy's like, he pitches 4 times a week. There's strike 3 called, and Stassi goes down looking for the second out of the inning. First strikeout tonight for Ragans.
Yeah, and good bounce back here for Coel Ragans. We saw this earlier, trying to go inside with the fastball. Of course, we saw the double that Adele ended up hitting. We saw the home run as well from Duffy, but this time just a little bit better on that inside corner, getting called strike 3.
One last note on your Stars. So my dad used to coach Little League for years and years and years. We had a batting cage in my backyard in the middle of New York City, and he'd have his all-star teams come there. But my dad, one of the things he would do would be every game he would hand out these little pins. They weren't stars, but they would just pins. But he would call out special plays, heads up plays, baseball plays, and award the kids that. So by the end of the year, at least every child, every player on that team got a pin. It meant a lot.
And you put on your hat or something?
And you wore it on your hat for the rest of the season.
What kind of pin? You remember what
all
they look like?
Kinds.
Oh, okay, like fun ones.
Yeah, nothing special. Yeah. Like maybe one with wings and baseballs, that type of thing.
Cool.
But it was something. Think about when you were 8 to 12. To be recognized, it was a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, that positive reinforcement, man, for a kid, enormous. Livan Soto, left-handed hitting shortstop here, and he takes in the dirt. 2-1. Just his 4th game in the big leagues. Soto recently called up, and he's kind of interesting. I mean, look, everybody's interesting. Their stories, how they get here and whatnot. But he was with Atlanta, and one of those international signees by the Braves. He's a native of Venezuela. But you remember, the Braves got in trouble for some activities in the way they were going after and signing some of these kids a few years ago. And they ended up losing those kids because of their, I don't know, their malfeasance, if you will. And so, anyway, this kid, he's the first of that group. I don't know, it was like 12, 14 young players in the Brave system who were then kicked back out into the baseball community, and anybody could sign him. He's the first of that group of guys who's made it to the big leagues. 2-2. And he takes strike 3 here. Ragans punches him out for the final out of the second inning. The Angels get a couple of runs on the Duffy homer, and they have a 2-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the second.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game. Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
Where there's baseball,
One pitch away
from baseball history, there's drama.
He has thrown a no-hitter.
Where there's baseball,
Near the wall.
there's action.
He made a phenomenal catch.
And where there's baseball,
Let's go live inside the park.
there's MLB Tonight on MLB Network.
Oh, wow.
Where there's baseball, all the time.
Unbelievable.
We've seen it time and time again.
Choctaw marquee matchup. Jonah Heim, catchers versus catchers. I think Jonah's got the advantage here, hitting .342 against the Angels this season. 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, and an OPS over 1,000 with 11 base hits. Angels catchers, not so good, just hitting .220 against the Rangers.
Yeah, decided advantage for the Rangers, the way Jonah has played against the Angels. Batting 7th today. Then it'll be Taveras and Thompson to follow. And there's a big breaking ball from Sandoval. Sneaks in there for a strike. Boy, he loves a breaking ball. And he's got a good changeup as well. And I guess if I could make the ball move like that too, I'd probably be tempted to throw that a lot myself. 1 strike pitch. That's up 1-1.
It's almost like he's trying to disguise that fastball. And when Val showed you the pitch arsenal for Patrick Sandoval, it was slider first, then changeup in order of usage for him before you finally got to a fastball. Now, the numbers against the fastball are not great, but I guess if he threw it more, they'd probably be worse.
Yeah, his percentages are pretty interesting. He throws his slider 29%. He throws his changeup 25%, and he throws his 4-seam fastball 23%. Yeah. So it's pretty equal across the board.
That whole idea of establishing your fastball, gone. It's gone. It's not a thing anymore. And there was a time, not to say that it still couldn't play well. I think it can if you have the right fastball. But for the guys that don't have the fastball with the good carry, the good spin, the good vertical break, whatever it may be, good extension, they are no longer told you must establish your fastball. I mean, you heard it. You probably said it a few times over the years.
And I called it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of one of the former Texas Rangers guys that I caught, Bobby Witt. I remember one day in Minnesota, we probably threw 95% fastballs. He just had a really good fastball that day. And I was like, Bobby, until they do something with it, let's stick with it. And he was like, all right, Val, let's go. It was just one. And then we threw a couple of sliders, but that was it.
Remember CY was telling us that story about his first win in Boston.
as a Ranger, first big league win, he said he threw like 110 pitches, and he was like, I bet you I threw 105 fastballs that day. For a guy who didn't overpower in the radar gun either, but just going at guys. And listen, it absolutely can work, and there's something about that philosophy that you still like, but because there's so much information, because there's so much data, and guys know what your fastball looks like so quickly, and they hit it so well, the game's gone just in a little bit of a different direction.
And I think that's where feel comes in. Like that, the day that I'm describing with Bobby Witt, Bobby just had an exceptional fastball that day. He didn't always have that fastball, but on that particular day, he did, and we kind of went with it. Now, some guys, if you do not have a fastball that you can throw by people, you can't throw it 100% of the time. But, you know, we've seen the Lance Lynn's and the Bartolo Colons make a living on throwing a lot of fastballs.
That's 4 straight strikeouts now for Sandoval, 5 overall. And they're 2 away here in the second inning. Oh, now, but he's really starting to dial it in. He'll work to Bubba Thompson now. Bubba, 274 average. Getting on base better than 32% of the time, and he lifts this one foul out of play. Bubba has recently slowed down just a little bit. Not in terms of his speed, but just in the production at the plate. 2 hits in his last 16 at bats. And he lifts this one out into right field. Ward angling toward the line. He makes the catch, and that completes a 1-2-3 inning for Sandoval. Needed just 10 pitches to get it done, so we're off to the 3rd tonight with the Angels leading 2-1.
The environment is so festive.
Microphone 1 2 1 2. Pack the whole place.
The fans here enjoying what they're seeing at this time.
Marching to the World Baseball Classic.
If you think they're excited, you ain't heard nothing yet.
Be quiet, win ball games, then I'll shut up.
High Heat with Christopher Russo, only on MLB Network.
By a run. Looking forward to this weekend on Saturday. The first 15,000 fans are going to get this Juan Gonzalez retro bobblehead presented by Kroger. And you can get your tickets right now by going to TexasRangers.com. There he is.
So Val, when I see the Juan Gonzalez bobblehead, I almost feel like I can't believe they did that to him. I know they do it to everybody, but that's the worst he's ever looked in a uniform in his life. I imagine he's still in great shape.
No, I don't think there's probably any question.
There's a pop-up back behind the plate, and Heim makes it look easy again. Second time tonight he's made that play. 1 away.
You know, I've always wondered, like, if you're gonna have your own bobblehead, do you have any say in it? As Adele pops this one up again, Jonah going back and showing how it's done, making it look easy.
One gone, it'll bring up Mike Trout. No one gets say in what their bobblehead looks like.
But like, if they're going to make a statue of you,
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to, like, go, can you make my waist a little bit thinner? Like, this is going to be here forever, kid. I want to be more like the superhero, right?
No. If the Chamber of Commerce in Gary, Nebraska was going to build a statue for Dave to put in downtown, his request, a runza in each hand, please.
That's right.
That's what he would
That's
want.
exactly right.
Cabbage burger in each hand.
Cabbage burger in each hand. That's all that matters. 2-0 pitch. And Trout takes a little bit up. Ball 3. I will say this. I haven't spent any time contemplating or worrying about it at all. I don't think it's never going to be an issue. There's a strike, 3-1.
It's kind of interesting to watch Ragans when he's behind in the count and he goes to the fastball. He seems to like throwing it in, which there seems to be some risk certainly in that. We saw what happened with the home run. But that was a pretty good 3-0 pitch to Mike Trout, knowing that if he saw something he liked, he'd go after it. Give him some credit. That's not an easy thing to have the confidence to do. When you're throwing that, four-seam fastball, it's got some run to it, but you're sitting 92, 93. To go middle in to right-handed hitters behind in the count.
Because if you're a hitter, I'm looking for something middle in to spin on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they went change up away, and now the full count pitch. And it's a swing and a miss at the fastball up. So we got Trout to hit into a double play in the first, and now strikes him out here with the third. 2 away.
Some good work after falling behind 3-0. And you get Mike Trout, that's probably right at the top or just above the strike zone. We know that's one area of weakness for him. As good as he is, and he's gotten better hitting that high fastball, but that one just beat him to the spot.
That's a nice strikeout. Third of the night for Coel. And here is Shohei Ohtani. Fouls that one off. Something fascinating about Ohtani at bats. Number one, he's really talented, but number two, there's nobody else who really swings in quite the same way that he does from the left side. The way he's always kind of bailing out on his way to first, but doesn't seem to lose any power doing it. And I think a guy's trying to have to, stay back behind the ball a little bit to generate that power, but he's just flying open and
have you stood next to him?
He is a big man.
There's one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
helmet and
yeah.
One hand slips off.
That one clearly a little, not the normal swing from Ohtani, as that right hand came falling off the bat.
We had that conversation last year, and Angels fans really reacted in such a positive way toward Dave and I. We said, a lot of these, they're kind of ugly misses. When he misses, they can, spin himself into the ground, and he acted like we said he was a terrible baseball player or even human being for that matter.
Well, he strikes out here. Got him on the changeup. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ragans. He gets Trout and Ohtani. Nicely done.
Very nicely done here. And all of a sudden, Coel Ragans has caught himself a little bit of a groove. He has struck out now 4 of the last 5 Angels he's faced, including the 2 big boys, Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani.
From inside jokes.
Hey, look, it's Mike Napafanakis.
To insider's perspectives.
I like over 5.5 strikeouts on Walker Buehler.
Your best bet is the pregame spread. Served up only on MLB Network.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jackie Robinson searching home run into the left field stands. Here comes Roger Maris. There's a new home run champion of all time. I don't believe what I just saw. Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star.
This crowd on its feet and in unison.
This one has a chance. Home run. Mike Piazza. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Welcome to the first night of MLB Network.
Number 600 for Jim Thome. That ball is gone.
106. That would be a new record.
It is caught. Oh, what a catch by Mike Trout. The Cubs have finally won it all. The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
powered by Google Cloud. And Patrick Sandoval, well, he's got himself a pretty good changeup. 69 strikeouts this season on the changeup. That's the most in Major League Baseball. However, none tonight so far. He's got 5 strikeouts in this game through 2 innings, but none of them have come on the changeup just yet. That certainly has been a strong pitch for Patrick Sandoval. He's really coming along. The Angels pitching, it's always kind of been their Achilles heel. We talk about it all the time. They have had some guys really emerge. They have to be feeling at least a little bit better about their pitching right now. I mean, they came in with a 3.88 ERA, tied for 11th in baseball. They've made some strides here, and it's been a priority.
There's that first pitch curveball in there for a strike to Marcus Semien. And Sandoval's gotten 5 of his 6 outs so far tonight on strikeouts, and he misses in here 1-1.
How about that? 2 consecutive curveballs from Sandoval. You were talking earlier about he only throws it 10% of the time.
Now I wonder if he's flipped the script here a little bit, right? I mean, we look at numbers, and obviously you're pitching to scouting reports to some degree, and then the divisional games will go down, but as many times as you see a divisional opponent, that can be a challenge, and perhaps you're trying to catch some of these right-handed hitters off guard by going away from the scouting report. At least the one they have on him.
There's a fastball for a strike, and it's a full count now on Semien. Marcus doesn't budge. He stays right in the batter's box. He'll have the least of adjustments next year, pitch clock and all that, as he draws his 2nd walk of the night. So he's on base, and we check in with Emily.
Yeah, and Marcus definitely a threat to steal, and Beasley says he's very calculated on the bases and probably could steal more if he wanted to, and scoring 100 runs should be a goal for a guy like Marcus Semien with that skill set, and the fact that what he possesses in that skill set will allow him to play basically anywhere in that top 3. Obviously in this lineup they feel that he is most beneficial in that leadoff role, but he definitely has the skill set to hit anywhere in that top 3.
This one on the ground right side. That could be 2. The relay to first is in time. And they double up Seager, who was hustling down the line, made that close. But that is a 4-6-3 double play. Rangers may be checking upstairs. I think they want to challenge this. They do.
And Corey Seager staying put, so let's see whether or not he actually beat this out. It won't happen next year. Not 3 infielders on the right side. Is really close. That was a great view from up top. Yeah, it looks like he might be safe.
Should say, by the way, 4-5-3 at the moment. It looks like it'll be a fielder's choice going 4-5.
It was cool about watching that from that one view that we had that was kind of high home. I'm trying to figure out who it was. There's guys all over the place. It must have been Duffy. Once the ground ball went to Rengifo, he basically took off for third. Right, because he's got to cover third base in case, for some reason, Marcus Semien is safe. It was almost like, he was running a different route, man in motion.
Yeah, I think it was
Soto. Oh, it was Soto? Okay.
Yeah, overtaking the throw. This should not be a long review. Bill Miller waiting to get the word so he can tell us, but Seager should have first base with 1 out.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe. Texas will retain their challenge.
All right, so a good challenge. Seager beats it out. Kind of brings up Nathaniel Lowe. Lowe struck out his first time up. Oh, how about this? Since the All-Star break, 79 hits. That's 7 more than the next closest, Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers. In the middle for a strike. He did not get a hit Sunday in Tampa. An 0 for 4 afternoon with a strikeout. But it's been a long time since he's gone back-to-back games without a hit. And he takes strike 2. August 5th and 6th, the last 2 consecutive games without hits for Nathaniel. Play him straight up on the infield. And that one is outside. 1-2. It's career high 25 home runs this year. And 71 RBIs. There's the defense on the infield. In the air, left side, and that ends up foul. Way out of play.
Well, this is a really good test right here because Sandoval has been so good against left-handers. He's not giving up a home run. They have an OPS of just 389, and Nathaniel Lowe has just owned lefties this season, hitting 349 against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, the many great things he's done this year, that stands out about as much as any. His ability to handle lefties. 1-2. That's inside.
And one of the things that jumps off the page, we talked about this the other day, obviously the work that he's done against lefties, but how about this foul? 486 against left-handed sliders this year is the batting average. 467 against left-handed curveballs. I mean, those are the two kind of breaking pitches that the lefties are supposed to be able to dominate or at least neutralize to some degree, keep them, you know, maybe in the 200s if they're having a good year against you, 250 or so. But Nathaniel has just punished those pitches from left-handers this year.
And I think a lot of it has to do with his approach at the plate. We've seen him take the lefties to left field. He doesn't try to do too much with them. You know, oftentimes you'll see guys trying to pull those off-speed pitches, the curveballs or the sliders. He has done such a good job of just hitting the ball where it's pitched. Because you don't hit 349 if you're pulling everything, unless you're Ted Williams.
2-2. And this one back up the middle. Sandoval will go to second one. And the relay to first from Soto in time. They get the double play. A 1-6-3 twin killing. Rangers go quietly in the third. Fourth inning coming up here tonight. It's a one-run game.
MLB Big Inning brings you the biggest plays of the night, live as they happen. Don't miss the ultimate baseball highlight reel. It's nonstop action on MLB Big Inning, every night on MLB.tv.
Covering the pennant chase? Serious business.
Boys, get on my back. You got no respect for me. No. Believe in me, baby. I'm playing Tetris so much I'm going cross-eyed.
It's no-nonsense analysis straight from the source.
Scotty knows.
I got donuts.
This time of year, we bring our game faces to work. Whoa, coming at you.
When we're on that couch, we are locked in.
Start flapping my arms.
Resorts. Fine, cool view from out down that left field line. Back in here tonight. Roof closed. Angels, Rangers, and it'll be the heart of the order for the Angels. Ragans goes right after Taylor Ward with strike one.
You know, Dave, we were in Houston not that long ago. We were kind of giving the Astros a hard time because of the condition of their outfield.
Yeah.
It had gotten really bad after the Bad Bunny concert. Well, we got in on Sunday from Tampa, and when we got here, the Red Hot Chili Peppers were playing here at Globe Life Field. You'd never know. Look how great the field looks. It's the way you do it.
And it's kind of amazing.
We were down there, Val. I mean, their field was a mess.
Really?
Their outfield was a disaster. They had a couple of nights of a Bad Bunny concert. David, I think you got to go to this surface. The surface is amazing. It's working out well, and look how great it looks. You never know that right there where Leote is standing, the Red Hot Chili Peppers were crushing it the other night.
1-2 on the way. And that's low. 2-2. Do you stay for the concert?
Well, I poked my head in. I felt a little awkward because I basically had a suit on and all my luggage. Not exactly.
You'd have fit right into the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No one even noticed you.
Yeah, just making my way through the crowd. Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me.
Lined out to left field and caught out there by Thompson. Ward retired.
Thought I heard somebody say, "Who's the narc?"
I'll bring up Matt Duffy. I figured people just thought you were doing bits or something. This guy, man, what a character. Like it's an airport or something. Matt Duffy homered in the second inning. Just his second home run of the year. And Ragans goes right after and gets him to swing right through the changeup. Strike one. Mentioned earlier about Duffy. Been around a little bit. He play all over the diamond as he slices this one out into right field. That's a base hit. So there's a home run and a single.
Yeah, I think the home run was more of the surprise down the left field line, but this is more Matt Duffy's approach right here. Gets that two-seamer a little bit on the inside part of the plate, stays inside, and serves a little soft single out there to right field.
I do a little quick research here. I'm like, Matt Duffy's not from Texas, right? Because after he hit that home run, he went to the end of the dugout and kind of almost gave like a mini kind of curtain call to some friends and family. And then after that base hit, there was a little explosion of fans kind of cheering and chanting. No, he's a California kid, but he obviously has got some folks here today.
He's a dirtbag.
Literally.
Long Beach State.
Thank you for clearing that up.
I like to let those just kind of linger as long as they can.
I think Phil Nevin was as well. Long Beach State.
Yeah, still is, I think.
How dare you?
I can only say that because we're former teammates.
0-2 to Mike Ford.
And he got his first big league hit off me.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Good of you.
What was it? What'd you throw?
I don't remember. The irony there was I was pitching for the Reds. He was playing for the Astros. Later that year, we were teammates in Detroit. We both had gotten traded as rookies that year. Of course, his claim to fame, #1 overall pick. And that was the year. Remember, we talked about this before. There's a manager, interim manager, Phil Nevin. But the great Hal Neuheiser, left-handed pitcher, was the scout for the Astros. They chose Nevin, and he quit because they didn't take Derek Jeter, who I believe was 5th or 6th in that draft.
Yeah, that's just it, right? They weren't the only ones to pass on Jeter.
How about a scout quitting? Not so much that it was a knock on Nevin,
right?
But he was just so confident about Derek Jeter being the guy. 6th overall pick in that draft.
And he also had another job lined up, probably.
Well, he was an older guy. He's a great left-handed pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. He was near the end of his career.
Ford rips this one into right field for a base hit. Back-to-back singles in the 4th inning.
Here comes another four-seam fastball. Now, I see that as a four-seam. CJ, is that a two-seam?
No, he only throws a 4, but it has some natural run on it. Yeah, so the movement every once in a while, you'll see it, and they got it. And that's why I wonder, like, when you brought up about Martin, I'm thinking, man, that's a guy that if, I don't know where the pitching coaches are with Arsenal and everything else. Like Coel Ragans trying to find his way right now at the big league level. You probably don't want to throw too much at him. But as I watch him, I'm thinking, man, I'd love to see him get together with Martin, work out a little bit, work on that two-seamer, see if there's something there. Because in situations like this, and we saw the ground ball double play that he got already with Mike Trout, but he's not a ground ball pitcher.
Right.
And if there's something that he can add to the mix in these situations when he's facing a righty to get more ground balls, no, the two-seam fastball is usually the way to do it.
Well, I think he would be really, really smart to be able to go and watch Martin do his side work, pick his brain in between his starts, maybe ask Martin, hey, watch me tonight, help me see, tell me if you see anything, because I think a lot of that wisdom in the game of baseball should be and does get passed down from the veteran guy to a younger guy if the young player is willing to listen and then apply it. Oftentimes, young baseball players, you know, we all thought we knew everything at that, you know, but the smart ones recognize that, hey, there's some talent and some knowledge here that maybe I can gain because they're so similar.
And the timing of it, I guess, you know, like he's so early in his career. And so it's like you want him to go experience some things and figure it out himself and then maybe draw some conclusions with the help, of course, of Martine and the pitching coaches here. And then we just saw Jeffrey Springs, a former Ranger who has found himself in the rotation now with the Rays and doing a really nice job. And there's some similarities with the four-seam fastball and the changeup. But Springs is really what has kind of changed his almost career path at age 29 is the fact that he's just dotting pitches up now, very much like Martinez right now. He had not really been doing that before.
2-2 pitch, and that one a little bit low and in, full count. 2 men on, 1 out for Joe Adell. Doubled in the second inning. Fifth 3-ball count so far tonight for Ragans. Payoff on the way, and a swing and a miss. He strikes out Adell, and that's the second out of the inning.
Once again, going back inside with the fastball. What's nice about this four-seamer is it stayed true. Right, it stays through the glove. It doesn't leak back over. You get a good look at the four-seam fastball grip, and maybe a little bit of movement. That's well done. It's interesting to watch Coel Ragans. There's definitely a place for that four-seamer and how he uses it. To that side of the plate in particular, when he gets it there, it seems to be a strength.
So now Stassi fouls off the first pitch he sees, strike 1.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you watch a pitcher like Coel Ragans, right, who more about a location, keeping guys off balance, I think those are the type of guys that have to pitch in. You have to make the hitters realize that I will pitch in. Otherwise, they just start looking and lunging out over the plate for all of the pitches that you will throw on like the changeup. Good one right there. But if you straighten that guy up every once in a while, you don't have to do it often, and we've seen him do it very effectively here tonight.
Yeah, the idea, right, the guys would just be leaning out over the plate, looking for that changeup, looking for the four-seam fastball. Keeping them honest. I think that's absolutely still an important part of pitching. Some things have changed. I don't think that has.
This one on the ground and through, base hit. Duffy around third base. They send him to the plate. Here comes the throw, the tag, and they got him. Another outfield assist for Adolis Garcia, his 10th of the season, and the inning is over.
Adolis Garcia throws another laser right to Jonah Heim. Jonah applies the tag. He got him first swipe, but he did it one more time.
With Home Chef, your home cooking is home nailing it. Our classic all-in-one meal kits are simple enough for anyone and delicious enough for everyone. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple.
Get 16 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
Here comes that rainy day feeling again. And soon my tears, they will be falling like rain. It always seems to be a Monday, leftover memories of Sunday, always spent with you. Before the clouds appear,
Take a look at Adolis Garcia with that cannon of an arm in right field. A perfect one-hopper to Jonah Heim. I tell you what, as a catcher, to get that long hop like that makes life so much easier. As Duffy, he's got nowhere to go, so he just slides by, doesn't even make an attempt. And right there, you saw in his left hand, Jonah Heim's first attempt, he got him. Umpire didn't see it. Jonah had to reapply the tag. Adolis Garcia with the assist.
How about the last 2 seasons, outfield assist? There's our guy, Adolis Garcia, now tied with Hunter Renfroe at the top.
Goes after the first pitch in this at bat. And lifts it down the left field line. Foul ground. Might be room over. Oh, watch out for the rail. I think Duffy thought he had a play on that ball. And then that railing met him rudely. Yeah.
Duffy goes over there. He's clearly calling for it. I think that fence kind of snuck up on him. He kind of forgot that it was there. You could see just.
Yeah, whoops.
We laugh only because he's okay. That's what the warning track is there for as well, though. I mean, yeah, you can feel that under your feet, right? You know you're getting close.
That's September for you right there, right? You just little things, you little groggy sometimes.
Non-contender in September.
Yeah.
One of the things.
Look at that. Interesting. You see that? It hurt shoulder a little bit. Hopefully he's okay.
I assure you, it did not feel good. This ball is lifted high in the air out to center. They got under it a little bit, and Trout is able to make the play. 1 out here in the 4th inning. All right, let's check in with Emily.
Well, Mark Mathias making a case for himself, quite obviously, to remain on this team in this lineup, and a big part of it. He's been getting most of his time, obviously, in that DH spot. There's just not a place for him in the field, but really what they're focused on is finding out what he is as a bat. They want to figure out if this offense is real, if it's sustainable, and so far so good for Mark Mathias. He's been in a little bit of a scuffle here lately, but when you look at the overall body of work since he's been with this team and since he's gotten his opportunity, he's absolutely made the most of it.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch him because they definitely like, I think with him, he doesn't expand the zone, doesn't chase, but there's been some streakiness to what he has done. We saw him hit 3 straight home runs, had 1 more away from the Ranger record. So take a look at his last 17 games, and overall an OPS over 1,000. Like, those numbers look terrific. Then we saw him go 6 straight plate appearances with a hit and RBI. Also 1 away from a Ranger record, but now he's on this streak maybe he's not too thrilled about. And I only bring it up because we jinxed him the last 2 times, so I'm going to try to jinx him again. He was struck out in 7 straight plate appearances, 1 away from the Ranger record. Dave Hostetler in 1983 went 8 straight.
This one lifted foul.
A little too close for comfort for me right there.
I was thinking had a chance for a foul out, which I think he'd probably take right now.
But I mean, there's a lot to be, I think, positive about with Mark Mathias and to be encouraged by, and it's his approach. And we have these conversations with the coaches all the time, and that's what they like. They know what's going to play over the long term and what works, and they want to see those consistent at bats. And so, okay, is this for real that you don't expand the strike zone? Is this for real that when you do take those hacks on pitches in the zone, you're aggressive, and when you square it up, you can do some damage?
Stays 2-2.
I think some of the value with him is his ability to play multiple positions as well. When he first got here, he told me he had 8 gloves in his bag, so he was ready. Just put me anywhere, just get me in the lineup.
Hey, look, he's done a nice job with a couple of occasions at first base. He played a good third the other day as well. The 2-2. It's fouled off. He can play the corner outfield spots. So, yeah, you don't. It's not that he's going to play every day or that he's going to have a position in the lineup every day. But the fact that they could put him in those spots if need be, have him off the bench, use him as a DH. I mean, there's a real place for something like that. Count stays 2-2.
I think the other part too, when you're talking about a bench player, if you have a guy that's got somewhat of a controlled swing, maybe if that's the future, right? Thinking about going forward next year, if they say this is our utility guy, this is one of the pieces we want on the bench, not going to play every day, but can he give us a quality at bat when we ask for it? And I think the answer to that so far has been leaning yes.
2-2. And he strikes out swinging That's the second out of the inning. There's the Nikowski jinx when we needed it.
Matthias gets a little slider right here. One of the better pitches from Sandoval. That pitch starts in the middle and just swings underneath it.
Now, what I did not include was that Martin Perez actually has the record.
Ah, there you go.
But he's a pitcher, and it took him a year to do it. To have
people too,
but they're not good hitters. They had 9 straight plate appearances for Martin in 2017, leaking into 18. He struck out in 9 straight.
Oh man, that's a terrible streak. There's nothing about that seems legitimate to me.
It started in June of 17 and ended in August of 18.
I mean, strike it from the record. Doesn't count. 1 strike pitch, and the count 0-2 on Young. Spans 2 seasons. It's a pitcher hitting.
Yeah.
I get a lot of problems with that streak.
So you don't like the hitting streak going?
I really dislike
on-base
streaks that overlap 2 years.
If you had an opportunity to go on multiple vacations, it should not count.
Exactly.
As a streak.
If you're celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving
in the middle of your streak,
it doesn't count. All right. Young struck out in the first inning, and that's been part of his game, certainly. 19 strikeouts so far. He takes up here. He's got the power, 3 homers, 6 RBIs, but he has not yet walked.
We had some space, though. The Ranger record there, 35 strikeouts before recording your first walk. Jeff Kunkel, 1984.
A swing and a miss, and Young strikes out here, and boy, Sandoval racking him up so far here tonight. Another perfect inning for him. 5th inning coming up. It's 2-1.
Nice.
What?
With the Game Time app, I pay 60% less than this guy. 60%? Game Time finds you the best last-minute deals and guarantees the lowest price. Download Game Time now. Nice shirt.
Want more hits? Train and win reality. Improve timing, pitch recognition, attack rate, and get more hits. Hitters love it, but pitchers...
I'm glad I'm retired.
Be ready for real. Win reality.
Mentioned it too. We got a lot coming up this weekend. Friday is Mexican Heritage Night. First 15,000 fans will get a special custom jersey. And if you have one of the community night tickets, you can add a custom Rangers cap as well. Go to TexasRangers.com/Mexican Heritage Night. See you out here.
Should be a good series. The Guardians are playing some pretty good baseball right now, getting a little bit closer to becoming American League Central champs. Pretty much eliminated the Minnesota Twins over the last few days. They took 4 out of 5 from them. And now they're just trying to hold off the White Sox. They're actually starting a series against the White Sox tonight.
1-0 pitch to Soto, and he takes the strike. 1-1. Dennis Santana getting ready in the Rangers pen, so Ragans getting close to the end of his evening. This will be a 75th pitch of the night. gets ahead 1-2. After this at bat with Soto as well, it'll complete 2 times through the lineup, so that might be part of it. And they're trying not to push Ragans too far now, as the innings and games have piled up a little bit toward the end of the year. 1-2, and this one bounced down to first base. Play for Lowe on the way. Back to the top of the lineup.
So this is Coel Ragans, times through the order. Now, he hasn't faced a third time very often, but the numbers first time through really good. You start to see that batting average jump up at 293. But third time through, you have opponents 3 for 12, and now we'll get an opportunity to kind of add some of those plate appearances on. At least he'll get Rengifo. You know, the other thing about tonight, you mentioned today, they're being a little bit careful as far as how much they actually push him. He's up to 12 swings and misses, which does tie a career high as he makes his 7th big league start. There's been a lot of good in this outing for Coel Ragans.
Puts that one right in there for a strike to Rengifo, whose body language told me he wasn't going to swing anyway. Took a hand off the bat before that ball ever made it to the plate.
I just wonder when guys do that, is the idea there, Val, that like you know you're taking, so maybe I can distract you?
I'm not quite sure. I mean, I never did that personally, but when you see somebody like that, I don't know, it's a lack of focus maybe, or he thinks he's going to throw a pitch that he knows he's not going to swing at.
Yeah, 2-strike offering. Well, as somebody who's built up a lot of sort of excuses and behaviors in his life to, you know, help mask his insecurities and failures, I wonder if part of it is, like, I'm taking, if it's a strike, I want it to be clear to everybody. It's not that I didn't think I could hit it. It's that I had no intent of hitting it, and everyone should know that. I'm taking my hands off the bat here. You can throw whatever you want. I'm not going to. I'm not going to swing. 1-2. I don't know. It's like the guy who runs across the end zone or the goal line and flips the ball to the ref a step before he crosses the line. Like, what are you doing? Go ahead and hold on to the bat.
Is it like that time you broke up with that girl because you heard she was going to break up with you? But you wanted to do it first? Just curious. Just curious.
Wow.
Did I hit it? Wow.
He's speechless.
Bullseye.
So hard.
We're on to something here.
Where
Hello, junior high school. Nice. Thanks. Just when you thought you had that buried, all the way down deep. Emily gets her shovel out. Hey, remember this?
That guy was ever going out with a girl in junior high or high school. 2-2. Rengifo's had the hot bat. Base hit in the first inning. He popped out in the third. That was a pretty impressive third inning, actually, for Ragans. 2-2 pitch. Ball looked way too much. Full count. I mean, retiring Rengifo right now is an accomplishment for anybody. But then he struck out Trout and Ohtani after getting Rengifo. That's a pretty cool inning for a rookie pitcher. Here's the payoff. And a little comebacker. Up the middle. Backhand stops Semien, and he throws to first in time. And Rengifo retired. Let's take a look at our Ford leaderboard as Trout makes his way to the plate. When you look at career home runs against this Rangers/Senators franchise, there is Mike Trout with 43 of them. Reggie Jackson, the all-time leader, with 54. Armin Killebrew with 48 of them. We'll see more of Trout in a moment when we come back. Ragans lifted here with 2 out in the 5th, and the Rangers trailing by a run.
A brief moment was all Roberto Clemente ever needed. He displayed incredible talent as a World Series champion, MVP, and 15-time All-Star. He fought injustice and helped those in need throughout his life of service. And he inspired generations of players and fans over the past 50 years to make a difference in their communities. Roberto Clemente changed baseball forever, ensuring his brief moment remains eternal.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Ragans out of the game. And just one out shy of getting through 5 innings. But it'll be Dennis Santana who will face Trout here.
And for Dennis Santana, 56 games now on the season. Got a good ground ball rate at 49%. He's only given up 2 home runs this year in those 53 innings. 2-seam fastball, slider, changeup, and 4-seamer from the big right-hander. Of course, that fastball is a power fastball averaging 97 miles an hour.
Out of the bullpen, and the first pitch he throws is a breaking ball. Slider in there for a strike to Trout. Trout is hit into a double play. He's also struck out. Bases are empty. And a swing and a miss as he chases the slider way out of the zone. 0-2. Dennis ready again. The 2-strike offering, and that one bounces. I mean, why not? He threw a slider for a strike, threw one out of the zone, and Trout chased it, and I think kind of embarrassingly out of the zone.
Well, the part
so why not go 40 feet out?
Yeah, and I agree with you. And you can see there 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts for Mike Trout against Dennis Santana. And we've seen a lot of pitchers, right-handers especially, go inside to Trout this year with the 2-seam fastball. I know that has to be in the back of his mind as he was taking some bad passes at the sliders.
Oh, and a fastball right past him. Trout strikes out swinging for the second time tonight. The inning over.
Well, this time elevated instead of going in, but the slider sets this up, and this is just filthier from Dennis Santana rearing back and blowing another fastball by Mike Trout.
Look, I think I just need someone more emotionally available. We seemed like a good match, but in person, I'm just getting a lot of mixed signals.
It's the bobblehead, isn't it?
I love your smile, but I can't do this anymore.
I thought you were a home run.
Oh, gosh. Max, don't do this.
There's a better way to bring the game home. Visit MLBshop.com for your favorite team gear and today's special offer.
If you think they're excited, you ain't heard nothing yet.
Be quiet, win ball games, then I'll shut up and I'll shut up.
High Heat with Christopher Russo, only on MLB Network.
Tony Beasley Age 55, played 9 seasons in the minors. His favorite movie, Avatar, actually got really excited when he heard about the sequel. And then he actually just kind of fibbed, can't talk, on his fantasy football team name because he doesn't have one. But if he did, it would be the Bee's Knees, at my suggestion.
I was just saying, Em, would you like me to follow up and help explain that whole process? Brilliance.
Well, sometimes these guys just need a little help, you know, with the answers to the questions I ask them.
Yeah. He's a good sport, I'll say that much. But you don't have to worry about Bee's Knees in your fantasy football league, because he's not playing. 2-1. Rangers trailing by a run. Sandoval back to work in this 5th inning. Man, he's racked up, what is it, 7 strikeouts in the first 4 innings. So he's looked pretty good tonight. It's the bottom third of the order. Heim, Tavares, and Thompson. Bouncer, right side. That's a high hop at the end for Ford. He gives it to Sandoval covering, and that's out number 1. And how about a word now from Choctaw Casino and Resort?
Elevate your idea of fun and games at Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant.
They're 1 away, and it brings up Leody Tavares. Rangers, in fact, they have just the 1 hit off Sandoval so far tonight. Seager's double in the first inning. But here's a bunt, first base side, and they will get Tavares. Looking for that bunt hit, but couldn't get it here in the 5th inning, 2 away.
This is really well played by Sandoval, showing some great athleticism right here. A nice bunt by Tavares. Unfortunately, just hit it just soft enough for Sandoval to be able to get over there, scoop it up, and make the underhanded pass.
You're kind of banking right on a left-handed pitcher falling off to that third base side, but Sandoval did not and reacted quickly. It's unfortunate. He deadened that ball pretty well. At least it sounded like it. But man, he was all over that thing.
See where the bat ended up?
I did not.
Almost out to the mound.
Oh, really?
It's kind of funny. Yeah, he got the bunt down. It was a beauty. And then the bat, I don't know if he just followed through with pushing it at the ball and just pushed it all the way out almost to the mound, about halfway there anyway. Bubba is 0 for 1. Flew out in the 2nd inning. Oh, he's looking for a bunt hit as well, and that one is going to work for him. Thompson is on.
Boy, I love that speed.
Yeah, how could you not, right? This is the 6th bunt hit already in the very early career of Bubba Thompson, and he was out there earlier today working on this exact bunt, and he has been pretty consistently pregame, but this one a little bit firmer, a little bit more down the line. What they did today when he was out there early was they took a baseball bag, you know, kind of the soft bag that you'd put the baseballs in. So we take a look at the bunt hits for the Angels and Rangers this season, and you can see where they rank. So they laid it on its side, and he was essentially trying to bunt the baseball into this bucket that is, you know, I don't know, maybe 1.5 feet in diameter, and just sitting there and just trying to put him right. It was sitting right off the dirt, pretty much where he just bunted that ball. You want it firm, because once the first baseman picks it up, you're going to be safe. So that's got to be cool for him and for the coaching staff. You're out there, you're working on it, and then he's able to execute it in the game that night.
It's kind of like Dave working on his putting.
Yeah.
Right?
Trying to. Except he made his there. Yeah, but it's, you know, we talk about the process all the time, and so they work and they work, but you do occasionally want to be rewarded with results, right? I mean, it's I think it's kind of important eventually. So that's great. You love to see those things come to fruition in a game like that, and that's the 2nd Rangers hit.
The other thing about the bunts, we saw that graphic of all the bunts that have been actual hits this year. I think that pendulum is starting to swing, and part of the reason is teams really haven't focused on defending the bunt because nobody was bunting. So it's like, yeah, we'll run through the motions a little bit, but all of a sudden you've got Bubba Thompson dropping it down to the third baseman, to the pitcher, towards the first base side. Oftentimes, all it takes with that type of speed is 1 second thought by the defender, and Bubba's safe.
2-0 to Semien. He has the type of speed that would allow him to bunt successfully as well. Rangers, you know, that it could be a big part of their game next year, especially with the emphasis that we'll see on base running and whatnot. He might lead the world in bunt hits when it's all said and done. Sandoval's 2-0. That one fouled off.
Yeah, I wonder how much that is going to affect with the bigger bases, right? So that base now will be what, 1.5 inches closer to home plate.
3 inches.
Is it 3 inches closer to home?
Yeah, because the 90 feet. This is great.
Yeah.
Val pointed this out the other day to me. They measure the 90 feet to the back of the base. Not the front.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you get that full 3 inches closer now for the hitter.
A few more bunt base hits, probably. Yeah. At least those close plays, right?
And infield hits, right?
Yeah, all those close plays. I mean, Corey Seager probably would have been ruled safe by the first base umpire. Went to review and he beat out that double play. It's going to be that much closer.
And that whole point is just getting more action in the game, more base runners, more attempts at steals, which we've seen already the uptick this year. And we'll see more next year.
Good swing and a miss. Full count. You could see Bubba rev the engine a little bit here. Semien's already walked twice today. There goes Bubba. And this ball hit hard out to the alley in left center field. That's a base hit. Thompson to third. They wave him around to the plate. And the throw heading plateward will be really no chance to get Bubba. Scores from first easily on the Semien double. And we're tied at 2.
Val, you said it is so much fun to watch Bubba Thompson run. First of all, we're going to see Marcus Semien just drill this ball in the left center gap. And Bubba off to the races. He was already on the move, and you know he is thinking about scoring. Third base is in his back pocket. It now becomes, can I score on this? You look away, you trust your third base coach, you don't slow down, you keep going. And Bubba Thompson scores easily. And yeah, that is an absolute treat. That's the kind of action we love seeing in the game. Of course, he's one of the quickest in the game. And that was a thing of beauty right there by Marcus Semien and Bubba Thompson.
Yeah, he doesn't score unless he's running. And Mike Trout, who was out in center field, recognized that Bubba was there, so he wasn't sitting back on his heels, and Bubba still scored easily from first base. Talk about that great speed. I never really felt that, you know, that but you can see right there, Bubba Thompson is on top of third base when Mike Trout is throwing that ball to the cutoff man. They've got no chance on getting the BT Express.
0-2 on Seager now. A new game.
Let me be a little bit of a wet blanket here.
Okay.
Is that a double if Bubba Thompson's not running?
No, I probably not.
No, because nobody's covering the bag at that point. They're lining up for the cut at home. If there was nobody on base and Marcus hits that ball, it's probably a single. That's great base running on his part. As soon as he realized they made that decision, he was gone.
I'll tell you this though, there've been a handful of times where I thought, oh, it's a single, and he pushes it pretty much every time. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt just because he's done it a half dozen times or so this year.
Plus, it's half homer day anyway.
It is kind of half homer day. Foul ball. Stays 1-2. We check in with Emily.
Well, and Tony Beasley really appreciates that skill set that Bubba Thompson brings to the table. He said, you know, look, there's so much emphasis on OPS and slug, and to me that's in a sense, in a way, waiting for something to happen. When you've got a guy like Bubba that can do what he just did, you know, and make his way around the bases in that fashion, it's making something happen. You don't have to wait on anything.
it's cool to see all that payoff, right? All the work on the bunting, you get the bunt down, get a man in motion. Marcus swinging a really good bat. You get a little bit of a glimpse of what things should be looking like, right? Especially that's the bottom of the order with him. And then what's happening at the top. Get Mitch Garver back healthy next year. There's a lot of slug in this Ranger lineup. You're not that far away. Add to the pitching, and you're right there in this thing.
And that tying run was really manufactured all by speed. The bunt, if you don't run as fast as Bubba, that bunt doesn't work. And then you're not going to score from first base on that ball to left center field.
2-2.
I don't know about you guys, but as soon as Marcus hit that ball to left center field, I got excited because I stopped looking at our screen and I just wanted to watch him run those bases.
That's a good time. And think about this too, the opportunities potentially for the Rangers as they get more and more athletic, and Eli White being back next year to go along with the great speed of the guy right there, Leody Taveras. Of course, Bubba Thompson, one of the fastest in the game. And so I can't remember where we were one of these last couple of series, but we were just kind of talking, and the word athleticism came up, and like, man, you guys, like, it's sticking out. Like, the league is recognizing how athletic this team is right now, and how that just wreaks havoc on defenses.
How about tonight's outfield for the Texas Rangers? Garcia in right, Taveras in center, and Thompson in left. I don't know. Can you get more athletic?
Not very much. I mean, I suppose if you, I don't know how you're going to do it. Maybe there's somebody who can cover a little more ground than Adolis, maybe Eli, but not much. And the thing is that we start talking about the arms of Garcia and Taveras. Coverage in the outfield with two really legitimate hoses out there as well. It's pretty impressive.
And I go back to the very first inning when Taveras made that sliding catch out in center field. Tremendous play. Not a lot of center fielders get to that ball.
Sandoval really struggling with Seager.
You know, coming into tonight, Corey Seager was 0 for 10 against Sandoval in his career. If you look at the first couple of at-bats, especially he had that double, eventually grounded out into the fielder's choice, but he dominated him before this game here tonight.
8th pitch of this at-bat, and that is ball 4, so he loses him to the walk. Now the Rangers have a couple of men out there for Nathaniel Lowe. And that'll get a visit.
Looks like there's a little activity down there in the Angel bullpen.
Yeah, the pitch is piling up a little bit in this 5th inning, and that long at bat to Seager might be one that just raises an eyebrow. So they will, if nothing else, just give Sandoval a little breather before going back to work against Lowe. Now he's gotten Lowe twice today, struck him out, and then got him to bounce back to the mound to start a double play. Nathaniel looking for his first hit of the night. Takes inside. Semien, great speed at second. I've seen Seager turning some pretty good hustle today as well. And this one on the ground, right side, and flagged out there by Rengifo. It goes to first in time to get Low. The inning is done. Rangers will leave him in. But they score a run. It all started with the bunt hit by Bubba Thompson. And this game is tied at 2.
Are you ready for some hot stuff?
turning up the heat, yeah.
If you think the pennant chase is intense,
Why would you sit there and get them all agitated? That's the last thing you want to do.
wait till you hear what the Mad Dog has to say. High Heat on MLB Network.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jackie Robinson, 13 home runs into the left field stands.
Here comes Roger Maris. There's a new home run champion of all time. I don't believe what I just saw. Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star.
This crowd on its feet and in unison.
This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza! The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Welcome to the first night of MLB Network.
Number 600 for Jim Thome. That ball is gone.
106. That would be a new record.
It is caught. Oh, what a catch by Mike Trout. The Cubs have finally won it all. The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
Legends of the game, and the MVP race right now is a great one with Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge. Ohtani on the pitching side, dominant, top 5 in all the big categories, 4th in the league with 34 home runs hit. But Aaron Judge shooting for a triple crown and the American League record for single season home runs. So what do you do? He's on pace for 67.
That's his pace right now.
I mean, that's what the boob tube tells me right here.
I think he's played in 146 games.
Strike pitch to Ohtani, and that's a base hit out into right field. His first hit of the night. So, what do you got? You guys have a strong opinion?
I have a pretty strong opinion.
Okay, what do you got?
It's, again, I'm going to go to the names. It's the most valuable player award, right?
Okay.
It's a good swing right here, talking about how he falls out, still able to put a good swing on it and barrel it up. So if it's most valuable, to me, in my opinion, if I'm picking a most valuable player, it has to be on a winning team, because he has a great year and their team comes in last place. So what? But if you're having a great year on a contending team, now player of the year, I'd probably go with him because he's doing something that nobody else has done for player of the year. But for most valuable player, for me, in my opinion, I think the value is in that word value. That's the crux of that whole thing. So
from that standpoint, using that argument, would you say Vladdy Jr. last year then got hosed? Because they were a 4th place team last year, and when they won the MVP, Vladdy had a huge year, and they ended up not making the postseason, but they were right there the entire way, and they played home games in 3 different cities, did the Blue Jays, and that kind of cost him his spot. So when it comes to the V and MVP, it's always an interesting conversation. I come from the school of believing that when they came up with the award, they wanted it to sound really cool. Because best player doesn't sound that great. Most valuable player, though, that's fancy. That sounds nice. Do they really mean valuable, like most valuable to your team?
Right.
Because then in the National League, you can talk about Michael Harris and what he has done since he got there, and their record. I mean, it's been incredible. He's not going to win the MVP in the National League. It's a tough one. I worry about voters getting Ohtani fatigue, because what he's doing is like so ridiculous. But at the same time, like, well, yeah, he's just doing it again, and should he be penalized for that? I mean, obviously, Judge has carried the Yankees. That's a valid point. No two ways about it. I don't like pitchers being involved in the MVP at all. In my opinion, I just prefer you have your Cy Young and you have your position players.
I would agree.
Yeah, but you've had pitchers win it before, right? Verlander, I believe, was the last pitcher you saw won it. And was it Willie Hernandez that won it with the Detroit Tigers? So
Eckersley won one.
Yeah, Clemens.
Bouncer down to the third baseline. That'll be extra bases. Ohtani can run. They'll send him around third base. Here comes a relay throw. It's not in time. And Ohtani scores from first on the Ward double. It puts the Angels back in front 3-2. Wow, he can run too?
Yes, he can. He's got a lot of attributes, but right here, Ward rips this one down into the corner. Ohtani, we saw Bubba Thompson scoring from first base on the double. Ohtani, big man who can put him up and put him down, scores easily. Nice little swipe tag right there from Jonah. But Ohtani was already by him.
Is the Triple Crown an automatic for you when it comes to MVP?
Nope.
Yeah, that Ted Williams. Well, maybe other reasons behind that over the years. Not well liked by the media.
Cabrera. Did Miguel Cabrera?
Miggy won it that year. But it has happened. In this day and age, if you win a Triple Crown, it's a pretty big deal.
I mean, it's
to hit for average and have the home runs and RBIs. Yes. That's pretty special.
Anytime it's happened, it's a huge deal. But it's not always the deal. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's Ohtani. And I get what you're saying, Val. The value part of it was always a big deal to me, too. This one rolled up the middle. Taveras comes up with it quickly, and there's the strong arm of Taveras, the reputation, simply enough to keep Ward station to station. He stops at third.
Yep. Yeah, so as we take a look at the potential of the Triple Crown here for Aaron Judge, and we built this graphic because Nathaniel Lowe's having this unbelievable run that he has been on right now, and you can see him at 308. But check out Judge. He's just 1 point away now from Luis Arraez and the Minnesota Twins, and Arraez is a guy that always felt like had a legitimate shot to win a batting title. But we will see. Still a little bit of time to go. But in this one right now, Dennis Santana is done. Tony Beasley going to the bullpen once again. Still in the top of the 6th inning here at Globe Life Field.
A brief moment was all Roberto Clemente ever needed. He displayed incredible talent as a World Series champion, MVP, and 15-time All-Star. He fought injustice and helped those in need throughout his life of service. And he inspired generations of players and fans over the past 50 years to make a difference in their communities. Roberto Clemente changed baseball forever, ensuring his brief moment remains eternal.
Are the first images.
Hello, everyone. You don't have to leave the solar system to watch MLB Network. Just sign in with your TV provider info at MLBnetwork.com or through the MLB app. MLB Network, just about anywhere in the known universe.
In front and threatening for more here. They have Ward at third, Duffy at first, Mike Ford on to hit, but John King will be the new pitcher for the Rangers.
You bring him in because you need a ground ball here. Right now you got a couple of runners on him. You need outs, obviously the most important thing, but you have the infield in and you prefer the ball be on the ground. John King, 64% ground ball rate, nearly 20% higher than league average. He's one of the best when it comes to getting ground balls.
Well, there's a chopper just over first and into right field. That's a base hit. Ward scores, Duffy to third, and it's 4-2.
Ford hits his ball on the ground, but a big Baltimore chop right here just barely gets over the head and reach of Nathaniel Lowe as he comes off the bat right there. Looks like it might have just scraped right off the end of the webbing. Ford knocks in run number 4 for the Angels.
Well, that's aggravating. I feel like this has happened more than once to John King, where he's, to your point, CJ, he gets the ground ball, or the bouncer this time, but it's elusive. And now a first pitch strike to Adele. So that run charged to the line of Santana, and he is also responsible for Duffy at third. 3 infielders left side of the diamond here, and Adele takes up and out. Everybody stays in tight, trying to cut down Duffy at the plate this time.
Yeah, so think about this now. If you get a hard ground ball to third base to Josh Young, for Marcus Semien to sprint to second base but then have to take the throw, it's a little bit awkward. If that happens, obviously the Rangers are anticipating that the ball's going to get hit on the ground. It's going to be to the left side. But this is what the shift gives you. Now, next year, Marcus is going to have to be on the other side of second base because we're going to have the new defensive rules and essentially banning of the shift. But I guess the other thing, Val, right, is if the ground ball to third, you want the runner at third going. You try to stay out of the double play. Even if there's no outs, you still go contact play to stay out of the double play.
You know, and when they're playing in like this with a 2-run lead, I'm going to force them to make the play at home. I've got, you know, again, if it's me with the 2-run cushion that I have, you got a good runner at third base. All of those things are going to kind of come into play.
Good play by a fan on the foul ball. 2-2 to Adele. So we'll see Duffy at third base. Ford very modest lead at first. 2-2 pitch. And this one on the ground, left side of the infield, and throw. That's a base hit. Well, another run is in. 5-2 Angels. And to me, I've asked about this in the past. You have 3 infielders all pulled in tight, not a lot of room between them. You see this sometimes when you bring an outfielder in on the infield in a late game close situation. I feel like guys are not calibrated to know exactly whose ball it is.
There's a little indecisiveness right here. This is a ground ball right between Seager and Semien. Got a little bit of a hole right there, but you can tell they were almost a half a step short of trying to make a play right there.
Just a hesitation, a little indecision for a moment, and the next thing you know, it's gone.
And you see Marcus right there in the frustration on his face, and I think kind of exactly what you guys are just talking about was his first reaction, as you said, talking about kind of calibrating where is everybody. I think he thought this ball was going to Seager. Let's see if Marcus goes to second third. See that lean?
He took a step.
Yeah,
he took a step left.
Yeah.
If we could maybe take that back, that's a great point, CJ, because he does think I got to get to the bag to turn the double play.
Yeah, they're tough. You can't practice for every single play. It's impossible. And the shifts required, you think, more and more.
Take a look right here. Watch his left foot steps towards the bag, and then he's got to go the opposite way.
Yeah, and he knew it right away. The frustration on his face. It's a tough one. You know, you're not sure who exactly right. You got to make that decision immediately. Am I covering the bag, potentially trying to get 2, or am I going to try to field this ball? I mean, there's just no time. You make an instinct decision immediately. Sometimes you're going to be wrong, and it's going to happen in the game. But you can see Marcus right now really frustrated and being pretty hard on himself. I mean, it's a tough play.
Meanwhile, Magnorice Sierra, the pinch runner at first base. This one grounded to third. Young steps on the base. 1 on to second, 2 on to first. Triple play! Second triple play of the season for the Rangers, and that kicks them out of the 6th. Well, you got the guy in there to get the ground ball. He does. And the rookie Young, couple steps to the base. 1, 2, 3. Inning over.
At Boll & Branch, we don't make bedding like everyone else. We make it better. We prioritize thread quality, not thread count. We source the finest 100% organic cotton to make the softest, most luxurious fabrics on earth. We're free from toxins, the way home should be. Boll & Branch is made different, so you can sleep better at night. Experience the difference at bollandbranch.com.
It's cheating. It's not even fair.
It's like the hitters know what I'm gonna throw every time.
I hate win reality.
I love it.
Be ready for real. Win reality.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Is that the Angels scored 3 runs to take the lead there. The cool news is it's the second triple play of the season for the Rangers.
And this is really well done and good instinct all the way around by everybody in the infield. And it wasn't even close. I mean, Josh Young makes this throw on the run, right? He doesn't take the time necessary to plant his feet because he knows that there's a chance that they actually might be able to get 3 here. And so he's very quick. The throw is right on the money. And that's certainly an easy way and a smart way to get out of a jam. And John King deserves that. After a couple of bad luck ground balls that got through the first 2 hitters that he faced, we'll just go ahead and turn a triple play.
That was a great example of one good throw leads to another. Josh Young threw it right to the chest of Marcus Semien, allowing him to make that quick transfer of the ball and get off a quick throw.
Just saw Sierra, the new left fielder for the Angels, and now Andrew Wantz will be the new pitcher.
And Wentz has appeared in 36 games. He has an ERA of 3.67 over 41 2/3 innings, 39 strikeouts, and 17 walks.
His first pitch in there for a strike.
Wentz has a 4-seam fastball, a slider, cutter, and changeup. That 4-seamer, he'll go to that about 50% of the time.
Puts that fastball right at the same spot for strike 2. So last of the 6th, the 3-run game. A 2-strike offering. There's a swing and a miss, and Garcia just never really comfortable in that at bat. 1 away. Looks like Josh Smith will be asked to hit for Mark Mathias here. So Rangers going to the bench for a pinch hitter. Now, first time in franchise history that the Rangers have turned multiple triple plays in a season. Breaking ball from Wantz right in there for a strike. It's 0-2. So Smith getting a chance to hit in this 6th inning, and a little tougher lately for him. He asked for time. Wantz really trying to work quickly.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too quickly for his defense as well. They kind of shifted really late, and they were still trying to figure it out with 2 strikes here and 0-2 count to Josh Smith. That's always fun, Val. I got to imagine you come off the bench, new reliever comes in, you watch him face Adolis Garcia, 3 heaters. You get in there, slider, changeup, changeup. You haven't seen one yet. It's always fun when you're coming in cold and you don't get to see a heater.
This one hit out to left field. That hangs up a little bit for Sierra. Easy play. 2 gone. Brings up Josh Young.
What do you think? Straight defensive replacement there in the 6th inning? Seems kind of unusual for a team that not contending right now, and you're still trying to work through Joe Adell. He didn't get an error for it, but he didn't, hasn't played great defense in this ballpark, and we've seen him. I didn't see anything injury-wise with him, right?
No, we.
I didn't see anything on the hit. He ran for him, but.
Oh, we did. Oh, I didn't see.
Yeah.
That. Okay.
But I don't know why, because Adell has speed.
Yeah.
It's not like he would have been a liability on the bases. So there must have been something. Young 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. It's a good fastball, strike 2. It's just coming right after these guys.
He certainly has with the righties. He's thrown the 2 righties in this inning. 5 pitches, 5 fastballs.
Sandoval was good, 5 strong innings. It's the bullpen from here for the Angels, and that one gets away. Sandoval, 5 innings, allowed a couple of runs on 3 hits, walked 4, and struck out 7. And early on, it seemed like he was struggling with some command issues, but he managed to corral it. 1-2 pitch, and that's up.
It was that first inning. It looked like he just didn't have a real good feel for his release point, but he put it all back together and has 9 straight starts now with 2 runs or less from Sandoval. Pretty nice little stretch.
Nice line right there. 89 pitches tonight for him. And breaking ball spins low to Young. It's a full count.
I think they have that first walk coming right now.
One miss away right here.
He'll probably get a fastball here, and he's going to be looking for a fastball.
And he's been aggressive. So the likelihood that he lets it go, well, we'll find out. Here it comes. And he goes right after it, and he swings through strike 3. So it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Wentz. 7th inning has arrived. Angels leading 5-2.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive, but here's the secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh hi, we're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You can try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
To get more hits out here, start training in here. Introducing Win Reality. Game speed pitches anywhere, anytime. Hands in sync with eyes. Confidence in sync with your progress. Be ready for real. Win Reality.
Did you know that ticket prices can actually go down right before the game? That's where Game Time comes in. Game Time tracks ticket prices in real time from thousands of trusted sellers, then shows you all the best deals. So we can get tickets at the last minute for up to 60% off. Download Game Time now.
Brought to you by Frontier, better, faster, 100% fiber. Now we're celebrating Rangers' 50th anniversary. First game in Arlington, 1972, April 21st. It was against the Angels. Rangers won it 7-6. All came out, put on those cowboy hats. They announced the lineups. Dick Bosman pitch, got the win. Frank Howard hit the home run. Lenny Randall, a big night. 3-for-4 with 4 RBIs. And thus we were underway. 50 years under our belts. So it's been a fun ride. But, you know, the good stuff's still coming. Here's a bouncer down to first base. Lowe will go to the base himself. And he gets Soto for out number 1. First 50 years have been a lot of fun. Memories of what not created in the area, but it's time for a parade in the not too distant future. You know, and then just even the idea of a parade, where would it be? Where would the route be? I like it.
All of it.
Yeah.
Metroplex, big parade.
50 miles.
Yeah. Just
start in
big
Fort
loop.
Worth all the way to Dallas.
You got to pace yourself on the float.
All right, Hefo will bat here with 1 out. He's 1 for 3. 5-2 Angels lead. They have out-hit the Rangers tonight 12-3. That one is outside for ball 2 to Renifo. I mentioned earlier that the the Angels have been playing better baseball lately. Bouncer shortstop. Seager throws it across the diamond in time. They get Rengifo. 2 gone. They're like 20 and 18. The Angels. That's over a pretty long stretch now where they're playing winning baseball, and they've gotten back at least into the middle of the standings. The 2 teams, the Rangers and Angels, separated by a half game coming into play tonight. So I mean, it had been a tough run. They got Trout back healthy again. That plays into it. Interesting how that's coincided with their better play. Although Trout pretty quiet so far tonight. King delivers low for a ball.
And they really haven't had Anthony Rendon for most of this season. They haven't had that good version of Jared Walsh that they were expecting this year. David Fletcher, another guy, all on the IL right now. So the anticipation is that they have a decent amount here to make sure that they're good to go for next year. It's the pitching.
Trout into the hole. It's short, but Seager positioned well, throws him out, and it's a 1-2-3 7th inning for John King. He only needed 6 pitches to get it done. Stretch time tonight in Arlington. Rangers offense needs to get it going.
Nos impactó la historia de Clemente, lo que hizo por la cultura.
Trabajaba en la noche, estudiaba en la mañana y entrenaba en las tardes. Así era, puedo decir, todo mi día, todos los días.
No pasa si es que yo puedo la club de Vasco.
Que vaya a campo,
si tú tienes en tu corazón sembrar deporte en alguien, puede cambiar la vida a quien sea.
Every time he takes the field, he competes not only against the other team, but against the toughest adversary, himself. MLB Tonight, where the best outdo their best on MLB Network.
Is brought to you by Baylor Scott & White Health, changing healthcare for the better, and by Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. Let's see some fun defense tonight. Rangers are trailing by 3. Get back to work in the bottom of the 7th inning. Still time in this one. But these Rangers bats need to get something going. Heim will start it off here. And Wance delivers that first one right on the corner for a strike. Wance is pretty effective in the 6th inning. A couple of strikeouts and a flyout. We'll get Heim, Taveras, and Thompson this inning. Right in there. 0-2. Activity now as Aaron Loop begins to throw. Better acoustic than the popping glove in the bullpen. When we check in out there, this one fouled back. Jonah's 0 for 2. It's been a terrific season for Heim, though, at the plate. And he has homered now in 2 of his last 3 starts. Take a breaking ball outside. 1-2 the count. He's up to 15 home runs now for the year, with 47 RBIs. He's caught more games and logged more innings behind the plate than he ever has in his career. And he fouls this one away.
I was talking with Jonah a little bit before the ball game today, just about the wear and tear of a season for a catcher. You hit August, and he was talking about, hey, August, you know, my body was feeling it. You know, it was a tough time, but he said kind of September has kind of rejuvenated him, which is always a good feeling to feel your body rebound.
Strikes out here. He got those 3 straight days off. There was an off day in there, maybe a
day game,
and he managed to finagle 3 straight days off for him, which is pretty cool. You know, and he definitely needed it, and he admitted as much. He said, though, it was interesting because kind of dovetailing off what you were saying. I spoke to him about that time. I said, well, how are you doing? How do you feel? He's like, you know, the weird thing is, like, yeah, I've caught way more. I know I'm tired, and they can show me like actual data that says I'm tired. But
it's just amazing, right?
Right.
We're to the point I was like, no, I know.
Yeah.
Well, let's show you the numbers. I get it. I can feel it.
Yeah. But he said he did say, though, he's like, but I feel really good. He's like, I'm really happy with, like, physically I feel good. So if I know that I'm a tick slower here and there, and you know, but it's showing up. Wear and tear is showing up.
Yeah. So the I'm feeling really good means I'm healthy enough to actually play.
For sure. Yeah.
But I'm not 100%.
No.
So there's that, like, that difference of I can go out there, I can show up, but I don't have that quickness in my bat. My legs are a little tired. It's August. So it's good hearing that he's feeling better.
What I've wondered about that situation, like last year he's a backup catcher essentially, and this year got thrust into more of a starting role because Mitch Garver goes down. You've been in this spot. If you catch, say, 40 games one year, and they come to you in October and say, hey, by the way, next year you're probably bumping up to about 100, 120. What would you do different in the offseason?
Probably just more training my spot, my base, my core. But there's really nothing like going through it.
Yeah.
You know, you can train all you want, you can run and prepare your body for it, but it's hard to replicate squatting because you don't want to just keep squatting, because then it's a wear and tear of your body. Actually, your knees and your lower back start to get it. So it's, yes, I've got to do that, but I just want to make sure all the muscles surrounding my joints are as strong as I could possibly make it happen. And then the wear and tear, the foul balls, the foul tips, off your toes, off your hands. I mean, all of those things kind of go into play.
Yeah, it's kind
and
of
how do you deal with it?
Yeah. It's not, I guess that's kind of what I assumed, is that there's really no way to prepare when all of a sudden your workload just gets bumped up because of injury or whatever it may be, and your body just hasn't been through it as a catcher. Like we talk about, you know, guys long tossing or getting in better cardio shape maybe as pitchers to some degree, although I know we're very careful with innings and those kind of jumps, but for a catcher especially, it seems almost near impossible.
I mean, one simple example is you work out all winter long, you show up at spring training, and I know it's a little bit different now, but then you go and you start and you catch 5 pitchers in one day, and you're squatting back there for an hour and 15 minutes, and you get up and you're like, I feel like I'm not even prepared to catch in the bullpen, because you just haven't done it. You're not in that squatting position. One thing that does help, and I think it is really helping all catchers, is the fact that they're letting them get down on a knee.
This will pop up into center field, will be handled by Trout. Boy, Wentz very sharp again. 2 perfect innings under his belt. All right, 8th inning coming up with the Rangers trailing by 3.
Nos impactó la historia de Clemente, lo que hizo por la cultura.
Trabajaba entre la noche, estudiaba la mañana y entrenaba en las tardes. Así era, puedo decir, todo mi día, todos los días.
Minano baixa și esquem șopotul la clubebeitul bașcor.
Și que vaya campo hachimanki makimu.
Si tú tienes en tu corazón sembrar deporte en alguien, puede cambiar la vida a quien sea.
Are you ready for some hot stuff?
Turning up the heat, yeah.
If you think the pennant chase is intense,
Why would you sit there and get them all agitated? That's the last thing you want to do.
wait till you hear what the Mad Dog has to say. High Heat on MLB Network.
pitch, Cam. Right here, the second triple play of the season for the Texas Rangers. One good throw leading to another. Josh Young gets it started. Marcus Semien finishes it off. And John King says, I like it, guys. Thanks for helping me out.
It's going to be a pretty cool feeling. So now 8th inning. It's a 3-run lead for the Angels. And they will send Ohtani to lead things off here. Ohtani, Ward, Duffy. 3, 4, and 5 hitters. The top of the order has been quiet today. As Ohtani pulls that one foul. He did have the single in the 6th inning, started that 3-run rally. But the top 3 spots in the order for the Angels, they have just 2 hits. The rest of the lineup, they're 10 for 18. They've had collectively a very good night. And this one bounced down the first base side foul. It's strike 2 on Ohtani.
Now, Dave, you were talking earlier in the game about Ohtani's swing, right?
Yeah.
The uniqueness of it. He reminds me a lot of Ichiro. I watch Ichiro a lot throughout the years. Ichiro has that same type of kind of falling towards first base, but he's Ichiro plus another 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Right, with a little bit of extra power, but still the same ability to put the barrel on the ball.
I think what we saw too in that base hit that he had, right? It was a pretty good pitch away. Those guys, and Ichiro's a really good example of it, is that even though they seem like they're leaking, they find a way to keep the barrel in the zone. And it looks kind of untraditional to us, and I spent a couple of years in Japan, and you get a lot of that kind of similar swing. You fall into habits and what you teach in certain parts of the world, and there's something to that. I think Matsui stood in there a little bit longer. Maybe he didn't feel like he was leaking as much, but you can still see it to some degree.
Oh, bouncer right side of the infield. And Ohtani retired quickly.
How about 7 batters faced for John King, 7 ground balls, including the 2 base hits. Just throws that heavy bowling ball, man.
And I think you said his rate was a little over 60%. 63?
Yeah, it was like 64%, I think, coming into tonight. Now, there was a time where if you got a double play, it counted as 2 ground outs. I think they got away from that, yeah. Because otherwise, that triple play would count as 3 ground outs.
Beauty. Now, Tony Beasley takes the baseball from King. And Jesus Tinoco been loosening up. He'll be on the pitch here in the 8th.
Evan Longoria, a guy last year who was one of the catalysts to a surprising Giants team.
Meet Evan Longoria. He's watching MLB Network.
Dude, Longo's hitting with big-time power. Still that
because that's what baseball fans do.
Here we go, Longo, 2022.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jackie Robinson punching home run into the left field stand.
Here comes Roger Maris. There's a new home run champion of all time. I don't believe what I just saw. Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star.
This crowd on its feet and in unison.
This one has a chance. Home run. Mike Piazza. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Welcome to the first night of MLB Network.
Number 600 for Jim Thome. That ball is gone.
106. That would be a new record.
It is caught. Oh, what a catch by Mike Trout. The Cubs have finally won it all. The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
The 3-run lead, but it's within reach. By the way, this Sunday, really looking forward to this. We celebrate the great Tom Grieve on Sunday. Part of it will be the first 10,000 fans in attendance getting this Tom Grieve bobblehead presented by United Concordia. And you can get your tickets now at TexasRangers.com. Now, here's the deal about that bobblehead, by the way. Do you know how many Tom Grieve bobbleheads are out there?
In history?
0.
Well, this is the first time
this is
ever?
The first ever and only Tom Grieve bobblehead. So,
and there's only 10,000.
Only 10,000. So don't be silly.
Yeah.
Get here, get on time on Sunday. Make sure you get one.
Yeah. Wow. So so Val was asking you earlier about what you might want your bobblehead to look like.
I just hope they spell my name right.
I mean, at this point, 0 chance. It took Tom 50 years, almost. How long?
Well, bobbleheads have only been around since what? Early 2000s, maybe.
Oh man.
Well, the earlier ones, right? They were around, not like they are now, obviously. But you're right. It's a fair point. But even then, so over the last 22 years or so, that's the first one for Tom. We got no chance.
No, I can see one with Dave and with a little microphone.
Maybe.
Let's not.
With iPad in front.
1-2 pitch, and Tinoco. This is off the plate. 2-2. Taylor Ward, the hitter here. A couple of hits, a single, a double. He scored 2 runs, driven in a run.
Outside of the walks, Tinoco's actually been really good for the Rangers. Only 11 games, 12 1/3 innings, but you can see it there. His stuff is live. There's some real upside to what Jesus Tinoco brings to the table.
His first strikeout of the night as he gets Ward looking.
Take a look at his fastball. Look like a 2-seamer. A little bit of action on the backside. It's that backdoor 2. No, it might have been a 4-seamer based on that grip. He throws both, but the majority of the fastballs that showed up, at least as far as how the algorithm classifies those pitches, is the 2-seam fastball. They're telling us he's only thrown 3 4-seamers this year.
He hides the ball really well too. He's got a little bit of that short arm action. As you take a look from this angle right here, you'll see as he takes the ball back, it's almost behind his head, almost like a catcher's motion.
We're seeing more and more of that in the game. We're talking about in Tampa. They have quite a few relievers that are kind of short arm relievers, and how difficult that is to pick up. There's so many different ways to get there. So he's 6'4". We talk a lot about extension. Brock Burke's got that unbelievable extension, one of the best in the game. Tinoco's the opposite. He's actually below average. When he releases the ball, he's about 5.7 feet from home plate for a guy that's 6'4". But as you just said, there's a different way that he does it. There's all different kinds of ways to get there, and hiding the baseball with that good life on him certainly is going to work for Jesus Tinoco as he picks up a couple of strikeouts here and finishing off the Angels in the 8th inning. Very clean for Jesus Tinoco and painting the outside corner with that heater.
Every time he takes the field, he competes not only against the other team, but against the toughest adversary, himself. MLB Tonight, where the best outdo their best on MLB Network.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jackie Robinson, 13 home runs into the left field stands.
Here comes Roger Maris. There's a new home run champion of all time. I don't believe what I just saw. Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star.
This crowd on its feet and in unison.
This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza! The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Welcome to the first night of MLB Network.
Number 600 for Jim Thome. That ball is gone.
106. That would be a new record.
It is caught. Oh, what a catch by Mike Trout. The Cubs have finally won it all. The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
Angels leading, and the Rangers will be sending the top of the order. How about this? Aaron Judge has hit number 60 tonight, so the pace for 67, still very much intact. He needs 60. He needs one more to tie Roger Maris's record set October 1st, 1961, also with the Yankees. And that is the record right now for a right-handed hitter in the American League. But
so he's done it in 147 games. I think tonight's his 147th. So when Babe hit 60, I think it was a 142 game season.
Did he?
144?
Well, 154 would have been the season. But the question is, how many games did Babe play in? And it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's a season. It's a season. But yeah, and Maris in 61.
What is it?
He played in 151 that year, Babe Ruth.
Okay, right.
Okay.
They rolled him out there for 151 games that year.
Because that was the big thing with Roger Maris, right? Was could he get to the 60 home runs in the same amount of games?
Right.
And then when he hit 61, he did it in 161 games.
Yeah.
So it took him 10 more games to hit one more homer. And he did it in 698 plate appearances. And that's the other thing, because Judge at times, like they've been batting him leadoff. How many plate appearances does he have now? It's only coming into tonight 631. But he's also leading in batting average now, so he's got the Triple Crown in his back pocket.
And they keep pitching to him.
Yeah.
Simeon floats one out into right field for a base hit to start the 8th inning. Rangers have a man on.
Well, Aaron Loup now in out of this Angels bullpen, and for a half a second, I think Marcus Simeon thought this ball was going to be foul. After he swung, he kind of stopped, or maybe thought it was going to be caught, I guess, not foul. But nevertheless, he's on with a leadoff base hit.
Marcus has had some really good at-bats here tonight, a couple of walks, that little knock right there. Take a look at his year, right? The month of April was not something he wants to even think much about. Nope. But you talk about bookends. The bad April this year, coming into today's game, he was hitting .333 in the month of September. So two totally different stories for Marcus Simeon.
Yeah, once he got started, forget about it. He's been about as good as there has been in the league. He's seen 21 pitches tonight, 2 for 2 with 2 walks and a run scored. And Seager fouls that one away. It's a ball and a strike. Seager's had a good night as well. Had the RBI double. He walked in the 5th inning. Jimmy Hargett getting loose in the bullpen for the Angels.
Wearing Jordan spikes.
They look like it, yeah.
I don't know my classification. I know some people know about everything Jordan never made.
Bouncer right side could end up being 2, and it is. The throw was offline coming back to first base, but tag applied to Seager's torso for the second out.
Loup gets him to hit a hard ground ball to the second baseman. And the throw a little bit offline. But a nice play by Ford to leave the bag, catch the ball, and apply the tag.
Still a good shot of Soto. Same situation where he had the shift on, and he takes off to cover third. He's going the opposite direction of the play. It's kind of fascinating to watch, but it's heads up.
So Nathaniel Lowe, and he'll hit one on the ground shortstop. Soto is there, and Soto first in time. And it completes a quiet bottom of the 8th inning. 9th inning is here with the Rangers down by 3.
The game is changing, and so are the shows that talk about it. MLB Network's Off Base.
What's going on, everyone?
A modern baseball show for the modern baseball fan.
It doesn't get much better than sitting around and talking baseball.
Only on MLB Network.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jackie Robinson, 13 home runs into the left field stands.
Here comes Roger Maris. There's a new home run champion of all time. I don't believe what I just saw. Cal Ripken Jr. has reached the unreachable star.
This crowd on its feet and in unison.
This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Welcome to the first night of MLB Network.
Number 600 for Jim Thome. That ball is gone.
106. That would be a new record.
It is gone. Trout, the Cubs have finally won it all. The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
Kind of an odd game, a little back and forth at certain junctures, but then a 3-run 6th inning has put the Angels in control. Rangers have made some great defensive plays. They just haven't been able to get anything going offensively. Now in the 9th inning, Tinoco came in to get the final 2 outs last inning, will continue to pitch. He looked really sharp in the 8th.
He did. As I mentioned, there's definitely some upside here to Jesus Tinoco, and an opportunity for him to finish out this season with the Rangers and finish it strong and make that kind of impression that makes the Rangers want him in that bullpen next year.
I think it's Ford to start things off here, then Sierra and Stassi. 5 runs, 12 hits for the Angels. 2 runs, only 4 hits for the Rangers. And this one bounced right through the left side. That's a base hit. And so Ford is on. It's his 3rd hit tonight.
The one thing this guy can do is put the bat on the ball. The little 2-seamer. But it's right down the heart of the plate. Belt high. He doesn't try to do too much with it. Shoots a little line drive through the left side for a base hit.
So he's aboard Sierra, who pinch ran in the 6th inning and then stayed in the game in left field. It's his first at bat of the night, and he watches it off the plate. Magneries, Sierra. And he scoops that one foul. Hey, we're talking about Aaron Judge hitting that home run, number 60 tonight for Judge. He's probably, you may not have noticed that the Phillies were hosting the Blue Jays today in quite a little ball game, 9-inning game. Blue Jays won 18-11. 36 combined hits in that game, 4 errors.
That's a wild one.
What do you? I mean, you remember nights like that, right? Sometimes just things get a little haywire. What happens on a night like that?
You just can't figure it out. You just cannot figure it out. That's why this game is so amazing. You just never know what you're going to get on a given night.
14 runs scored from the 8th inning on.
A little pop-up back of second base, and Semien tucks it away, 1 out.
And that's why teams want to have strong bullpens.
It was 10-5 going into the 8th inning.
Which is already a ridiculous night.
Yeah. Let's take a look. I wonder if any position players pitched in that one. I guess not.
I wonder if all of them pitched in that one.
We have seen that where multiple position players have pitched. Actually, yeah, Garrett Stubbs pitched in that one.
14 extra base hits in the game.
The other thing was we were talking about that Aaron Judge home run, second coolest home run of the inning. The Yankees were down, and he hit that home run. It was 8-4, went to 8-5. It was the bottom of the 9th inning. They loaded the bases, and then Stanton hit a walk-off grand slam, and they barely got past the Pirates 9-8.
Oh, that's a super slam.
Yeah.
Off the plate, 1-1.
I mean, think of the range of emotion in that stadium. We're about to lose to the Pirates. Oh, Aaron Judge hit his 60th. Wait, we're about to lose to the Pirates. Walk-off grand slam.
Are you suggesting Yankees fans get emotional?
There's a little bit of emotion involved in what they do.
1-2 on Stassi.
It does bring up a fascinating point. I mean, he's at 60 now. He's going to get there. And we were just talking about it. And as far as recognizing that true home run record, and I'm at the point now where I'm like, man, just hit 74. Just make it easy for us. So we don't have to have that conversation. Beat that Barry Bonds record of 73. It's not going to happen. But if it does, it would happen here to finish out the season. Yankees coming in
that's
for
true, yeah.
4 games.
It would be quite a run.
Oh, my.
So at this point, every home run he hits the rest of the year is historic. They're all American League records. He's going to tie the American League record with his next one. That's low, 2-2. Hard to believe. I remember as a kid, absolutely fascinated with Maris having hit those 61 home runs. I had a picture autographed as a kid that I had forever. My grandpa went into his beer distributorship in Florida and just walked in and told him, my grandson's a big baseball fan. Did you sign this picture? And Maris, nice enough, signed it, and he sent it to me. I had it, I still have it. So anyway, I'll never. It was from the paper, and so it's underneath it. It's got the date line, October 1st, 1961.
Oh, it was it was a newspaper.
Yeah, it was a newspaper. It was like a, I don't know, almost like a photocopy or something of the newspaper from that day, blown up a little bit.
Do you still have it?
I do, yeah. But I was just blown away by 61 home runs. Come on, what? That's not even human. And then, of course, thinking like we'd never seen anything like that again. Wrong on that one. But it is pretty spectacular. We still, technically, we have not seen it in the American League since then. And there's strike 3 called. Stassi goes down looking. 2 away.
What's impressive here for Tinoco, 3 strikeouts, but 2 of them looking, and that's his ability to get that fastball, as Val was talking about earlier, that really jumps on guys, and not necessarily a great location for him. He's trying to go middle in with a 2-seam fastball, but just difficult to pick up for Stassi, almost as if he was looking for something else in a 2-strike count.
So Tinoco with 3 punch-outs now. That'll go to work on Soto, and a first pitch foul ball, strike 1. Well, so it sounds like in that Yankees game there was a wild finish with the Stanton super slam to win it. Sounds like in that Jays and Phillies game there was a wild finish with, let's say, 14 runs scored from the 8th inning on.
Yeah, 8th and 9th inning, 14 runs. They went 4 in the top of the 8th, 5 in the bottom of the 8th, 4 in the top of the 9th, and then 1 more in the bottom of the 9th.
2 here on Soto. So why not this game? Why not a crazy finish here?
Like the walk-off grand slam.
Yeah. In and out of the glove. Up high, and that one got a piece of his forearm, maybe.
It looked like he bit him pretty good. We were talking exactly earlier about all the little foul tips and things that go into. And he got it off the face mask, the left side of the jaw, left bicep.
Two-strike offering. Yeah, this ball hit hard. Out to right field. Garcia is there, though, and he makes the catch. And the inning is over. All right. Stage is set for that wild finish. Adolis Garcia makes the play in the outfield. He'll lead it off when we come back.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
game diagnosis, and the Angels pitching has showed up here tonight. It started with Patrick Sandoval, the left-handed starter, had himself a really good outing here against the Rangers. Lots of swings and misses, and then they handed over to the bullpen after 5 innings worth of work. Andrew Wentz was perfect. 2 innings for him, 4 punch-outs. Aaron Luke came in, got a big double play here off the bat of Corey Seager. Taking a look at where we stand right now, 5-2 with the Angels leading, 13 hits compared to the Rangers 4. Now the Texas Rangers did turn a triple play in the 6th inning. Second time they have turned one this year. Matt Duffy's had himself a pretty good game, a home run with a couple of singles, playing third base tonight for the Angels. But we go to the bottom of the 9th, and it is the former Ranger, Slim Jimmy Herget, taking over. He's had a really nice year here in his 43 games for the Angels. You can see the 62 in the 3rd innings pitched. Does have 59 strikeouts. He's done a really nice job with his walk so far. We know you get kind of that low 3/4, nearly sidearm angle kind of delivery that you get from Herget. 43% ground ball rate, 4 home runs allowed on the season.
All right, his first offering inside on Garcia. Dolly's 0 for 2. He walked in the 1st inning. They just need a couple of base runners here. And Herget gets a corner call, 1-1. Jimmy doesn't waste a whole lot of time. Oh, he gets a swing and a miss. Slings that one up across the top of the zone. A curveball that was hung way up there. You see that more and more, guys working the breaking balls up in the zone.
It's hard to believe that between the 3 of us, none of us were cool enough to know exactly what model Air Jordans he's wearing, but I believe they are the Air Ones, the originals.
This one fouled away. Well, good news for you.
Oh,
I didn't know that that's what the originals were called. So.
The only thing, and he has to do this, in my opinion, they're low tops, right? I think Michael Jordan never wore them that low. But if you're going to have your pants up and you're going to be, skinny the way that Jimmy Herget is, it's not a great look having ankle-high spikes. It doesn't look good.
This one flared out over first. Backing up is 4. He'll make the play. 1 out.
Take it from a guy with similar calves as Jimmy had, and if you were forced, there were certain teams in the minor leagues where you had to wear your pants up. I never wore them up. Not a good look for me personally, but there were times where you had to. And then I liked wearing ankle-high spikes. It just didn't look good. It's just not a good look. It's terrible, actually. So that's why I believe that Jimmy's low here, not high.
Actually, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
That's right. Yeah. If you just wear it with confidence. Should be trotting in here tomorrow with the stirrups pulled up high. 3/4 top spikes. I'm going to do it with a little sass. Here's the 1-0. And that is off the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. Smith, good candidate to find his way on base. Make things interesting here. He's adapted working account. And he shoots that one into left field. That's a base hit. He'll take a turn but hold. There's no sense in risking anything at second base, and it would not have worked out anyway. So the Rangers have a man on. They need one more.
Good piece of hitting here from Josh Smith, and this is what they like. 2-seam fastball. It's got a little bit of run to it. A little bit more belt high. Herget probably wants it closer to knee high or thigh high, but that's enough for Josh Smith to line this ball into left field. And that's when he's at his best. You saw him get a little bit pull happy on some swings the first time he had gotten called up after getting off to a really good start. But his game is that game right there. Short to the ball, line drives all over the field.
Well, Young, this is a great time to reverse what has been a tough trend for him, which is the strikeouts piling up just a touch here. 3 strikeouts tonight. We've seen this, though. Well, he might strike out multiple times in a game and then pop a home run or something. Is this one foul over to the right side? Easy count 0-2. Three homers, 3 doubles in his very short time with a big club. Herget's 0-2. And this one up the middle. And a little flip to second for 1 run. Hifo on to first in time. Double play. And the inning and ball game over. Herget slams the door in the 9th inning, and the Rangers fall short 5-2. We'll come back and wrap this thing up here momentarily.